Alrighty, so first, we're gonna start with a little bit of touch of bad news, and that is that I do edit everything together, recap videos, podcasts, and all of that myself around my own streams and shows, and especially the recap videos, sorting through 4 hours of footage to put together something that encapsulates an entire session of Pathfinder is a pretty large amount of work, and not something at the moment I can really fit time to do two of. So I don't have a video recap for this series like I do the Age of Ashes over on the Paizo channel. That said, I, like any true manager, have outsourced this job to Zindern, who fortunately is also hilarious, and while it's not a video, if you haven't seen it yet, we added a new channel to our Discord for the Campaign Summary EC for Extinction Curse, and I renamed the old one Campaign Summary AOA for Age of Ashes, and that is where Selwyn herself will recap all the events of each episode. But have no fear, I will still give us a brief little verbal catch-up right here after the intro for everything. I just don't have a cool video. I'm sorry, I have let everyone down. But it's okay. It's an easy summary, really. Like I said, we put on a fantastic opening show. You guys put on a fantastic opening show. Not you. But everybody else put on a fantastic opening show. Zerg and Lizardman had a fantastic performance. Arabis took the stage for the finale and did great. Selwyn opened strong. Ara was also there and did not die, which I believe is unfortunately the highlights of his exploits for that particular curtain. But it's okay because Bartholomew was there to cover for him with his own spectacular performance on the other side of the tent. And all things together, it was a show to remember for the good people of Aberton. And a show to pay a lot of coin for the good people of Aberton, as you guys made quite a lot of money, actually, with your opener. But it was not without problems. Things seemed to be going wrong. A lot more frequently than they should, really. There's your standard circus problems. Bartholomew had never performed before, and when it was his time to go through the curtain, he was a little bit shook with some stage fright. There were some drunks jeering and heckling. That happens. We've all been to Twitch before. We know what chat's like. But there were some other oddities. Tulip's snake, Mr. Tickles, her massive boa she performs with, fell sick from goblin pox for seemingly no reason. The Featherfall 5, the Kambali family, your tightrope artists, had their safety nets ravaged. And, worst of all, the ringmaster, Myron Stedhall, was found dead just before the first curtain. This is definitely too many things to be a coincidence. And now the show's done, now that we have an opportunity to stop and look around, you found even more than that as a group. You found some more evidence of this subterfuge. Well, kind of. What appeared to have been a massive horde of rats had made their way through the backstage area, going to each of these different spots for their sabotage, covering whatever else there may have been, before heading back outside to the grounds. Pretty concerned, after at least one death and what could very possibly have been more, the rest of your show is unsettled. And they have asked you, with no real leader since Thunder's death, to look around and, well, make sure everything is safe. See if you can find any more leads, any idea at all of what could have happened. And we left off right there. It was almost immediately after the show. You'd inspected the scene around Thunder's dead body. You'd found the rat tracks. Arbus had tracked them around backstage and found that they went back outside to where all of your various wagons and carts are. And most of the rest of the performers, the professor and a lot of the roustabouts who aren't currently needed, have headed around as a group to the campfire not far from the tent. Together, safety in numbers, theoretically. No party. What is our plan here? And I have a general view of the area, because you've got quite a big campground here. It's a large production, the Circus of Wayward Wonders. It's certainly not small, and there's still a lot of things here that are going on. The nearest wagons, these 3, right outside the tent by this little pond and a stream, are all supply wagons, and the roustabouts are still running things back and forth from there, as they have been all show. For these to have been tampered with, it's completely unfeasible that could have been done without being noticed, as there's roustabouts working with the gear and supplies in these wagons near constantly. But further south than that, on the other side of the creek and off to your right to the west, are all of the various wagons and trailers for the show groups. Your wagons, the other actors' wagons, the ringmaster's wagon down near the fire. Pretty much everyone has come outside except Mordrain. Mordrain and Anzu are still inside the tent, off on the side. She having some conversation. There's always some big explanation Anzu has, or Mordrain has for Anzu after near every show, but it's just something they go off in the corner and do themselves. It never seems to be part of the group activity, but then again, neither does Mordrain. So did you want to head outside immediately, or was there anything else you wanted to do preparatory-wise or searching inside the tent?
I would have spent 10 minutes realigning with the first world before heading outside.
And then minor fix from last week, because this is kind of on me, because you guys are real new to 2nd edition. I'm also pretty new to 2nd edition, but I should have saved you on this one. I'm going to tiny retcon that during that 10 minutes while you're recentering, instead of casting one of her, 2 first-level spells, Arabis is just going to attempt to help you with medicine, basic triage. Not going to use her magic. You're resting anyway. She can kneel down by your side and try to help you while you're recentering. Zerg, what were you saying?
Zerg hungry. Going to look for food. Something to chew on. Meaty.
And this would also be in this backstage area. You wouldn't have to go outside for that. There is plenty of access to snacks and the assorted catering that Aberton has to offer. At the moment, what with it being the big curtain day, Thunder and the Professor decided to splurge a bit. There would be the vast majority of an entire roast pig from the local tavern splayed out on a table.
That'll do.
So, Lizardman, Ara, how about you two? Well, Selwyn and Arabis are tending to themselves. And Zerg is feasting.
I'll follow over to, they were full roast pig. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna follow Zerg over there.
Fair enough. Ara?
I'm also going to follow Zerg over there and just mimic what he's doing. Because I obviously can't eat a roast pig.
I was going to say, how does mimicking eating work when you don't have a mouth?
Just that kind of motion.
Just take a haunch and just smack yourself in the face with it,
not even have it, just holding an imaginary haunch.
Oh, okay. So you're just pantomiming the entire thing.
Yeah, I'm shadowing him.
All right. So with 10 minutes of preparation there, Selwyn, you would be able to realign and regain that focus point. And Arabis,
I'm not regaining a focus point. I am changing my cantrip. I don't
have
have
okay.
focus points.
My mistake. That just sounded like, I didn't know that was a thing. That sounded like regaining a focus point flavor.
That is a gnome specific thing.
Okay. My bad for assuming then. It was like 2020. Apparently, I had to get with current year.
Indeed. And I'm swapping the prestidigitation into electric arc.
Oh, okay. Swapping the show magic with the maybe there's a serial killer magic. I like where your head's at. Meanwhile, Arabis is going to try to touch you up a bit. So you have 6 damage that you've taken from that punch.
Yes.
And Arabis, if you want to roll a medicine check.
You got it.
That's pretty solid.
Pretty good. That's a 24.
That's one off a critical success for a trained medicine check. So you are going to be able to heal someone. You'll be able to touch her up pretty well. And a medicine check after 10 minutes is going to heal her for 2d8. It's just raw 2d8.
Okay. 10.
I am
Fantastic.
In full health.
So,
You're
exactly touched up just as we had left the last session, but without you having spent a heal spell that you super did not need to use. And that's,
Cool.
again, a pretty new thing with 2nd edition. The medicine skill, formerly the heal skill, now does things and is useful outside of tiny little pre-written set piece moments that call for the heal skill or trying to figure out how somebody died if you just don't want to use any magic, like Speak with Dead. No, the medicine skill's great now. It does things. So after some feasting, some resting, some recentering, 10 minutes have passed already. You kind of regather here near the southernmost exit of the big top, facing out over the grounds, lane beyond. And you can see Aberton down in the distance, but because your tent is up sort of northeast of Aberton, there's a bit of a forested area further south, and your tent is just kind of nestled near up against that, maybe like 100 yards or so between the tent and the edge of the tree line where your wagons and carts are pulled around. But past and through that, it's not particularly dense. You can see the small hamlet in the distance.
Well, Zerg, are you quite finished now?
Good enough. It's fine. Let me just put this in the pocket for later. And I just want to just grab like a hunk of meat and just shove it in my pants.
All right, fair. Big old big
This for
hunch,
later was good.
right into the pants.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure you have put that in the right place?
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Well, I guess we should be off then.
I'm just staring at him as he stuffs this in his pants. I'm just eating like I get stuffing leaves in my face. Just watching.
Like
No
picking
shock.
grass off the ground and chewing on it.
Gray, do you not
What
eat
an
real
animal.
food?
I eat all the real foods. Yes.
You're eating leaves off the ground.
They're delicious.
They're probably poisonous.
Better than eating leaves off me.
Well,
I don't even know what that qualifies as.
Can you be a vegetable cannibal? Is that
Is that a
possible?
thing?
Well, either way, it's not
Let's not find out.
cannibalism because it's a different species. So,
That's
mood,
true.
Mood, but
That's true. Mood point. So as a group of you kind of gather around the southern tent entrance here again, you can see a group of the roustabouts still trying to run the breakdown, getting a lot of your larger supplies, a lot of the bigger equipment up into the wagons here, trying to clear out a large amount of the tent and the stands so the tent can be brought down. You can't really leave the big top up over long periods of time. It's only so sturdy, and if it gets particularly windy or stormy, that gets bad really fast. So they have work that has to be done. Off to the side, there are a couple of them participating a little bit less, I would say, with one of the Flambonia sisters over there. And you're all pretty positive that Tamiri and a couple of the crew are tending to their other needs here during a brief break. It's a circus life. None of you are completely free from sin or of, your regular happy upbringings don't lead to a life in the surface, so to speak. You're almost positive there is more than a little bit of flay leaf to go around between that trio.
I believe we should tend to the animals first.
Yeah.
And then
Well-
make our way around the circus grounds.
Right next to you is Cubby, a pretty large St. Bernard. It's the dog-faced dog in your Sideshow Everyday Marvels. But all around the camp, you do have an assortment of your various animals. Off to your right is the paddock with all of your main horses, and just roped to the ground near outside of that is the one elephant that your circus can still afford. Is there a little, paddocks don't work great on a creature that large. You can just step out of them with no problems whatsoever. Whereas your oxen and your camels are off on your left to the other side to the east.
Right.
Zerg's gonna go and wander about with the elephant and just spend some time with him, just see how he's doing.
All right.
We should
So-
move as a group.
As we get into Roll20 mechanics here, Colby, I know you're pretty new at this site. Mono, I don't know if you've ever really used Roll20 before. I see you played tabletop. I don't know if that was online or not. You should
No
be
wow.
able to just move your tokens around your own token wherever you want to move throughout here, and that should change your line of sight automatically as well, because dynamic
it is
lighting
doing
is super cool.
Where was the elephants again?
The elephant's
on
off
the left.
to your left on the west.
Zod going for a wander. Go see a friend.
I always have to keep track of Zig. Just vanishing all the time.
Where the fuck is this elephant?
It's up
It's over here.
here.
So
We go over here.
northwest. He's right
Oh, that's an
alongside the
elephant.
tent. That's an elephant. Does
That's
it?
an elephant.
Does it not look like an elephant? Does it look like something else? It's got
there
a
it does.
yeah.
The colors
the-
threw me off.
Yeah, it's got a lot of like ornamental, a large almost like veil across its face to make it look more spectacular. An assortment of bangles and rings up and down its tusks. It's a circus elephant, after all. But we have successfully found the elephant. So the rest of you, Zerg and Lizardman, immediately walk west, past Cubby, around the tent, towards the elephant.
I would have followed along. I think we should all stick together.
It's like the elephant seems alright. I don't know whether elephants are actually afraid of mice or rats, as we have been told, but hopefully the rat did not bother her. Or
And I'll yell back to the two of us. Hey! Grand Leaf! You guys coming?
Arvis looks distracted by a dog to me. Based on the slight token shuffle. Arvis, how you doing?
Hello, Mr. Cubby. How are you today? Let me pet your face.
And Cubby looks up at you and like pulls his head back a little. You know I hate when you do that. Cubby is an awakened Saint Bernard that is a part of your sideshow.
I was like, I didn't think I could understand him.
And he talks.
Did I know he talks?
You do now.
Okay.
You think I'm gonna pass up that moment and tell you in advance that he can talk?
Baited me so hard. Oh, it's amazing. How are you? I just
Doing fine enough. Just wanting to know as much as everyone else what's going on around here. I heard concerning rumors from some of the roustabouts. Did someone
Yeah.
really get the thunder?
They did not the best of days today, no.
And Cubby just kind of looks down and shakes his head like a person. And he's just sitting there like he's a Saint Bernard. He's a Saint Bernard sitting on the ground like a dog. And he looks down and kind of shakes his head a bit. And looks up and over his Selwyn is just kind of inching back over. Well, at least I also heard it was a damn good show. It would have made him proud, Selwyn, on all accounts.
Well, did my best. So did everyone else. Gray, Leaf, can we move? I'm sure the dog is okay. You're okay, right? And I'm
Okay, Cubby, I have to go now. It was good talking to you today. Yes.
I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to interrupt, but you're good, right?
It's okay, Selwyn. I'll
And
come with you now.
Cubby looks up at Arvis again. You know I hate how that makes me feel. This empathetic thing you got going on with animals, I sure wish it didn't work on me. I don't like it, no ma'am.
Then take it up with the Stormlord.
Playing boxes in the back.
I'll
So-
gently pull the plant along.
Leaving Cubby
Following
behind.
willingly.
The group of you head over to the west, to the paddock, and to where Zerg and Lizardman have made their way to the nearby elephant. An elephant seems to be fine, and several of the roustabouts here, as well as a member of the science show that you would know as Zig Jones, the bearded man, are helping with feed and water and also checking everything out and making sure everything's still in place. As far as everything looks immediately, nothing's been tampered with. But as you come over, Sig walks over towards the group and just gives a quick nod. And this is the man who you can barely see his face for how much hair there is. A mustache up to the bottom of his eyes, mutton chops into the sides, and his hair down below his eyebrows. He's basically a walking eye slit and a massive brown mass of hair. But he walks up and nods. Selwyn, friends, heard the professor put you in charge of figuring our shit out here, given the state of things.
Yeah, securing the grounds, so making sure everything's in order. Yes. Anything out of the ordinary here?
Nothing that I have seen, no. Everything seems to be intact here. The horses are fine, restless, given the show and their time here in the paddock, but nothing I've noticed.
If you don't mind, Gray or Leaf, can either of you just use your, I don't know, woody magic make sure they're okay? I know you both have a way with animals. I saw it during the show.
And he kind of gestures with an open hand up towards the elephant and says, I'm sure Kanade would have let us know if there was a problem. You know her temper.
True.
But we'll give you guys names on tokens as you meet them, so you don't have to remember 26,000 names for 26,000 members of the circus as we go through.
Just in case, though, right? We should make sure everything's in order, even the most minute detail.
So, Arbus, what exactly can you do on that front? I'm not entirely positive the extent of druid powers in 2nd edition yet.
Well, they can't really talk back to me, but they can understand what I'm saying. So it's all, I guess if they were smart enough to communicate in any capacity, maybe like with a head nod or something, they might be able to do that.
Okay. So you can talk to them. Like, they don't just understand feelings, like they understand your words. Largely.
Well, it says connection, so I guess it could be both.
Okay, so you can't like give them a scientific dissertation to understand what you're talking about, but they get the impression of what you want out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? What do you want out of Kanade?
If he's okay, and if maybe he saw anything odd or disturbing, as I just sort of like put a hand on him and.
So, Zerg, you came up here too. You're around. What are you doing? Just inspecting the elephant here, just kind of looking with a huge pile of meat in your pants?
I'm having a quiet moment with the elephant. We're communicating. Not on any kind of real level, just little pats. I understand you, elephant. Big, strong, fearful. But inside, you like butterfly. I understand this elephant. That's all. We're just having a quiet moment.
I don't think any of that is true at all, but okay.
Gives a soft trumpet as she turns towards Arbus approaching. And Arbus, you don't get the feeling that there is anything wrong with Kanade herself. She seems to be all right. The horses all seem to be all right. But you get a sense that she is a bit stressed about Bardolph. Bardolph is another one of your animal performers. Well, he used to be one of your animal performers. Bardolph in the Great Fortunato was one of your acts, but before you split off to become the Circus of Wayward Wonders, or shortly after, the Great Fortunato was mugged and killed in Escadar. But you still bring the wagon with you, and you still keep Bardolph around, because you're not just going to release him into the wild to go die. So he's kind of just like a big pet at this point. He is a grizzly bear. And his wagon is the one right down here to the south, the nearest one to all of you. Decorated across its side with faded paintings that depict the bear dancing, balancing on a ball on one side and standing up with his paws raised against the Fortunato with his arms spread to the audience on the other.
So he's stressed out about the bear because maybe
Kanade is worried about the bear, yes.
He's worried about the bear. Say it to everybody.
Why is he worried about the bear? Have you seen that elephant?
maybe we should go check on the bear.
Well, the elephant is the one that's worried about the bear.
Right? Why is he? Oh, worried about, not worried about like the bear attacking, mauling him.
Oh no!
Okay,
Bardolph is a baby. Like you guys have had
Yeah, he's
Bardolph
like
forever. He's just a very
Yeah.
large house cat.
Yeah. Okay, I misconstrued.
No, he's not worried about Bardolph attacking him. No, he's worried
Yeah.
something's wrong with Bardolph.
Right.
Elephants are incredibly smart, and they can pick up on animal feelings and those they're around almost as well as Arvis can. And I mean, again, Bardolph's wagon is literally right next to her, and she's concerned.
Right.
Maybe we should go check on Bardolph then.
This sounds like a good idea.
Splendid. Lead the way.
Why am I leading the way?
Not you.
Okay, that's what I say.
Tiny
I was thinking about
Leaf,
the one
go
who can-
check
who can-
on Bear.
Who can talk to animals.
So as you all go ahead and move yourselves over as you approach the Great Fortunato's old wagon, most of these wagons have their doors in the rear, and that door is interesting in this wagon specifically because it doesn't have any sort of a lock or a latch of any kind, because it's just Bardolph now. It's basically a giant nest. Each side of its large door has a well-chewed length of thick knotted rope, and Bardolph actually knows how to use his mouth to open and close the door to come and go from the wagon basically whenever he pleases.
Wow.
Oh, I like Bardolph.
But as you approach the wagon, you do not hear anything.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he could be sleeping. It's not like
Someone
a
home.
terrible thing. So as we're moving around here, I'm going to introduce a new concept to 2nd edition, which is exploration mode. At the moment, you guys aren't fighting anything. We're not rolling initiative. Time's not passing by any like set amount. We're just kind of exploring and doing things. And 2nd edition now has a system for that is more concrete. But that's not in a bad way, because it lets you really focus on what you are doing as you're exploring the grounds here and how that is helping the party. So I'm going to lead with Bryn, since you have played some 2nd edition, and it's kind of hard to explain exploration mode, really. Bryn, what are you doing as you explore the grounds?
I'm, unlike the rest of you, looking for dangers. And I'm going to be trying to, search?
So searching is the thing that you're going to be doing, but you are still on alert. You know things are wrong here. Something is fucky, and you are absolutely on edge, searching for any kind of danger. So she's going to be taking to search exploration action, which means if anything comes by that requires a perception check, like hypothetically traps or things that are hidden, Lizard Man is the one who will get prompted to roll those checks, as he is the one that is actively looking. You could also use that to be scouting. I could construe that either way, which means you're actively looking for threats, for danger. You're keeping your head on a swivel and not focusing on Bardolph or the Fortunato's wagon, which will give the whole party a +1 to initiative should combat break out. But you wanted to search, right?
Yep.
All right. So then we'll just go down the list here. I want to go to Colby because I know you've played some 2nd edition too, and you're probably a little more familiar with exploration mode. What are you doing?
I'm actually looking at the pages right now.
You don't worry about picking a thing right now. Just tell me
yeah,
what
it's-
you're doing,
it's-
and I will give you suggestions.
It's more along the line. I'm probably just gonna actually keep casting Detect Magic over and over again, just in case,
Okay.
because there's not much else. I'm not exactly good at this investigation thing, so
And that is definitely a thing that you can do. So he is going to repeat a spell. So while he's exploring, he will just be casting a cantrip over and over, in his case Detect Magic, to pick up if there is anything around odd or obscure magical that shouldn't be. So now we'll just kind of go down the list. And if you need some help, I am more than willing to assist you in getting to an actual activity, because there are a lot of options, but largely just tell me what it is you're doing and I'll tell you what makes the most sense. Selwyn.
I would like to, at this juncture, sensing something is really wrong, I'd like to start avoiding notice
Okay.
and be a point lookout.
So you are going to that's why I try to keep this group around you so much, keeping yourself out of the limelight here. You're pretty small, kind of hidden. And that will enable you, if combat breaks out, to use stealth for initiative instead of perception. How about you, Monolith? I know you're getting slapped with a pile of rules here, but what's Zerg up to as he's exploring the circus grounds?
Zerg is not concerned. Zerg is very confident in his ability to deal with anything, so he's just meandering. He's just wandering, just taking it all in, really. He's not bothered. Not searching for anything in particular, just sort of watching everyone. There's
Why Lizard
everybody
Man has
very
to keep-
concerned.
This is why Lizard Man has to keep an eye on Zig all the time.
As you're just doing
not
whatever.
worried.
Zerg,
Not
not
concerned.
worried. So you can take either hustle, which is you're not doing anything, but you are able to just like you're wandering out at full speed because most of these activities imply that you're moving slower, you're being cautious. So like Lizard Man searching isn't moving his full speed, he's moving half speed. So since he's 25 normally, he'd only be moving 10 feet per round for 6 seconds. He's really kind of almost creeping around, making sure nothing catches him off guard. And you're just kind of going. You're not worried. You're making moves. And that would keep you near the front of the party just because you're just walking.
Nowhere to be, just walking. You guys, you look around, I follow, whatever.
All right.
Anything comes up, I am stronger, so what is problem?
And Arabus, what do you want
I
to do?
would, knowing how wild animals can be, I would be walking at a clip towards the cage, not trying to sneak. So if he's in there, he knows I'm coming. I'm not trying to sneak up on him.
Yeah, you'd not try. The opposite of avoiding notice.
Yeah, but I want to go to the cell door and see if he's in there.
So you're kind of on alert here to some extent. You're getting you're not searching around for everything like Lizard Man is, but really focused on where you're going and what could happen.
Right, like
so
a
we could
focus.
say you could be scouting.
Okay.
Scouting where you're going and what you're heading into, making sure you're aware of the situation. And that's if combat does break out, everybody will get a +1 to their initiative checks because you will be the first to alert for danger. So as you approach the wagon here, it doesn't have a window or anything. It's a fully closed wooden wagon. Bardolph didn't seem to be a big guy. Most of the wagons don't have windows, really. These aren't fancy carriages. These are fucking wagons you carry your supplies in. Bardolph, in this case, being the supply. But again, the door's not locked. It's just got an end of rope, so you can just slide it open.
Okay. We slide it open.
So as you do, it comes to the side as it always has before, revealing Bardolph inside. But he is not sleeping. He is not resting. Bardolph is actually like backed all the way up to the front of the wagon, like scooted with his butt up against the wood in a very defensive posture, actually.
Away
And
from me or back?
Away
from me?
away from you.
Oh.
Like he's as back as he can get. He's a pretty big boy. He takes up the vast majority of the inside of the wagon, but he's scooted back as far as he can be from the door. That said, as soon as the door opens, Bardolph roars out in rage and lunges forwards towards you in a very clear defensive attack. So, I'm going to need
Yikes.
everyone to roll some initiative. Bardolph very spooked. Bardolph was waiting. He was waiting for
Yeah,
it.
he was.
He was waiting.
Oops, I didn't.
That is fine. I can just add you to the table and then you can put that on
That's right,
there.
I'll roll it.
Okay.
Gotta.
It's fine. I'll roll it again. He says with the 2 on the die. No. I'll roll it again. No,
we had this last week.
No,
right?
you're
Like,
fine. Yeah, you can roll it again.
Mess it
That's
up,
cool.
right? Yeah.
And then I will have this as just the bystanders here because we're in a bit of an interesting situation because there are a lot of people around. You're very much not alone here. And they will just act at the end of the round because they weren't particularly ready here. So Arbus and Lizard Man and Ara and Zerg players just decide ties, so you can act in whatever order you want to.
Zerg, go before me.
Arbus, do you want to go first? Or do you want to go before?
Sure.
Okay, standing at the door, you should probably go before me.
Probably a good
Yes.
idea.
Not
good.
saying, but yes, probably.
But Bardolph comes out, and as soon as you open the door and the light hits him and he sees that there's this whole group of people standing there, he lashes out immediately with his enormous maw towards Arbus. And Arbus, what is your AC?
18.
Alrighty, he is going to bite you. He
Ow.
is gonna succeed. And he is quite a big boy. He's gonna bite down on you for 9 damage. And Arbus is not a particularly beefy woman. That's a
Very little.
fairly damaging hit. And as he bites down on you, he pulls back almost immediately. He doesn't try to grab you or pull you or anything. He's again fighting very defensively. And in fact, he then follows up by almost ramming forward with all the weight behind his head, just trying to fling you out from the doorway of the wagon. What is your fortitude DC? And whenever I ask for a DC, it is just 10 plus your modifier.
Okay. My modifier's 5, so 15.
So it'd be 15, yep. And he is going to succeed to shove you back away from the entrance of the wagon before retreating as far back as he can into the corner once more. Selwyn.
Well, not exactly sure what to do here, but I'll move up to Gray and say, "Oh, are you okay? You good?" And
He's really scared.
I'll hold my hands on my short swords and hold here.
Okay. So you don't want to ready an action or anything. You just want to,
Already in action to
because you did only step.
try.
So in second edition,
I'll move ready in action to try to shove him back into the cage if he
okay,
comes
there
out
you
to
go.
attack
Yeah,
me.
second edition ready action is very straightforward. It is 2 actions to ready 1 action on a condition.
Right.
And readying now enables you to use a reaction to do the thing that you've readied. So it doesn't screw with your initiative. It doesn't move anything. You're basically taking 1 action and turning it into a reaction you can end until your next turn. So as a reaction, you will be able to try to shove Bardolph back in the wagon, which is hilarious because you're probably the smallest person in this group, and he is a massive bear. Aravis, that was a pretty solid bite, and yeah, he's clearly, like, you don't need any wild empathy to tell, he is very scared.
Yeah, he's mad. I didn't fall prone or anything, did I?
No, we just pushed you back out the doorway. He didn't slam you hard enough, because after he was biting, after he put most of his effort into the bite, and then he didn't get you as hard, and he can't really get his bulk around the door frame of this wagon, so he just kind of shunted you back 5 feet.
Well, then I'm gonna scurry away a little bit. So that's 1 action and move away. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Can I battle medicine myself?
You absolutely can. You can battle medicine any member of your party. It's just you can't do it to the same person more than twice in a day. So you can absolutely, as 1 action, attempt to quickly triage the bite wound.
All right. Oh, that's probably a medicine check I need, right?
It is a medicine check. Yep, it is exactly what we did for Selwyn earlier. So
Right,
you were
okay.
gonna do what to try
Self-heal.
and quickly patch yourself up here?
Just grab some of the stuff I have on me and just try to quickly staunch the bleeding and
Okay.
take care of the bite.
The first 5 words of that are "you can patch up yourself," by the way.
Okay.
With an 18, you will
18.
succeed and heal yourself for 2d8.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Battle medicine's a really good feat. Especially when you roll 15 on 2d8. Fire. So, yeah, you probably still, like, that's still hurt. He was
Yeah.
not in any way biting into you with intent to kill. but he did still get his teeth sunk pretty far into you, but you're able to treat the worst of it. So it's no threat to your livelihood anymore. It just hurts and might be a bit bloody. That just leave you with one action left.
So with one action left, I'm not sure what else I could really do other than to just call out, there's no reason to be scared, it's just us. And that's sort of it.
And that brings us to Lizard Man.
I'll rush towards the door and Zig, get on your feet, and try and slam the door closed, and put like my body weight against the door. Like we can talk to him through the door if we have to, and just keep my hand closed and be like, Zig, hello.
Zig, help! So you want to move up to the door, and then you want to try to shut it again. That's what you're doing.
Shut it, and then I'm gonna brace myself against it.
He is shying back away from the door, so
That's
he's
good.
not.
I can still brace against it.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not going to oppose you. There's not going to be an athletics check or anything to try and shut it. You can shut the door, and you can put yourself against it, and then if he tries to bust out, he'll have to like beat your fortitude DC to get out of there. Zerg.
Okay. I see when I'm needed. The strong man is required. Okay. Zerg is gonna attempt to grapple the bear.
Well, the bear's behind a closed door right now.
Oh, true. Okay. Lizard, let me in. Let me in. I'm going to calm the creature. It's okay. So,
I love Zerg.
You want him to let you in the wagon so you can wrestle the bear yourself.
He just saw the girl that talks to animals get bit, and he still wants to go in and try to calm the bear.
Well, that's why he needs to go in. The talking didn't work.
Apparently not.
So
when words do not work, the arms will work. I promise.
So you're gonna have to do a test of strength to see.
Yeah,
if you
Lizard
can
Man is
open
currently
the
holding the
door.
door closed. So if you
Oh,
want to
here we
open
go.
it, you would need to step up and make an athletics check against Lizard Man's fortitude DC to try to force it open, or because it doesn't sound like he's letting you in.
Lizard, no, let me in.
Nah.
You are,
Did you see the bear?
Did you see me?
The bear is angry, and you're like a marshmallow.
Zerg is angry. Let's go.
Yes.
So 18. What is
okay.
your fort DC?
My fort DC actually, let's see here.
It's got to be close to that, I think.
That's gonna
it's
be close.
18.
It's 18. So he gets the door open.
I go flying. It's right
as
next
his
to my-
second action, yeah, he forces the door open, flings Lizard Man back,
Oh no.
and then you want
First,
to
I take the- Yeah, I
let
wanna
me get
grab
this
the
straight.
bear.
Grab Bardolph.
Yes.
All right,
Oh.
that is also an athletics check, just against Bardolph's fortitude DC.
I can stop lizard. I can stop a bear. 22.
So he grabs Bardolph
Oh, baby.
You're like, don't touch this girl.
with a 22. Zerg reaches in, as Bardolph roars and just grabs the bear's shoulders. The bear is now immobilized and flat-footed as Zerg grabs hold of him.
Somebody do something.
He didn't plan past that.
I didn't think this far ahead.
Ara!
Don't know what to do to follow that up.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
particularly
a
speak
tough
to
man to
animals.
follow, to be sure.
Can I just attempt to use like nature or diplomacy to try to like?
Do you have any kind of wild empathy or any other
No.
class? Then no,
I'm just
you
a
cannot
sorcerer.
attempt. You can
I'm just a
try,
blasty hand.
but it's not gonna super help.
Yeah.
He does not understand you. He is a bear.
He is a bit, but we are friends. And I'm a tree.
I can't
Shoot.
believe you grappled a freaking bear. You needed a 21
I-
to do it, and he did it. Like, he's like, I didn't ask what the DC was. I said I grabbed the bear. Like,
Can I? I really don't want to fight the bear. Because I'd end up killing the bear.
bold words coming from a plant.
I want to go in and I want to take the meat out of Zerg's pants, and try to offer it to Bardoff.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. What
They're
is
gonna
that?
be pissed.
So,
Not the bee!
He's
Well,
in distress right now. He can't fight
while
me back.
Zerg is busy, yeah, he's occupied. He is literally wrestling a grizzly
Sleight
bear.
of hand?
You are gonna walk up, and that is absolutely, it's a thievery check. And I will pose this question to Zerg. Is the meat in your pants? Would you consider that I don't think that's a closely guarded object right now. So that's just a thievery
Not guarded
check.
by my hands.
Oh jeez.
Oh no.
That is a thievery check
All I'm
against
saying is watch where
his-
your hand goes.
against his perception DC. So what is your
I shoved this
perception
down the
DC?
front of the pants.
You
Just
might
as
grab the wall
Yeah,
and
watch-
shit meat.
What is
Watch
your
me shove it.
perception DC, Zerg? 10 plus your perception skill.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was.
I'm- No, it's
Yeah.
just the DC. So the modifier is 6, so it'd be 16. So
16.
yeah, there's not
Oh.
opposed rolls in second edition, so you never have to
Gotcha,
wait on
gotcha.
2 people to roll for things to happen. So it's a thievery check versus his perception DC of 16. Ara.
This is gonna be tough. Yeah, no.
12 is a complete failure. So Zerg, while you are
gosh.
grappling this bear, you feel what appears to be someone putting a wooden stick down your pants.
And now you are grappled also, but in a capacity.
He's certainly confused.
What is happening?
Excuse me, Mrs. Zerg. I need the meat in your pants.
I'm a little busy. Maybe later.
This has gone so spectacularly off the rails so quickly.
Well then, I felt everything. I'm just gonna do a quick glance around and see if there's anything actually.
I mean, you
scaring
can
him.
try again. He's
Nah.
noticed you attempting to take
Did
the meat, but
everybody
you.
see this?
Everybody saw it. Yeah, when he
Yeah,
failed,
yeah.
all onlookers have noticed his attempt to reach into your pants. He,
I'm gonna try
I
again.
know it's impressive.
He's trying
but,
again.
Yeah. I'm just gonna dig around while I'm in there.
No.
another thievery check.
No.
He's rooting around.
No.
He's got an 8.
Fail.
Ooh, that's not a critical failure.
Oh, it's not. That's true. That's true.
You can want to continue rooting. You have 1 action left.
Yep.
No.
Nope. Let's see that can't roll above a 10. That's my
That
goal
is
today.
not a critical failure. So you have a Leshy gonna strap to your ass with both hands reaching down into your pants, scrabbling against your thighs while you are grappling an incredibly angry bear, Zerg.
The idiocy is insane.
Behind you, this has obviously caught everyone's attention, and most of the roustabouts kind of step back, whereas Sig just turns stones to the party. What the fuck?
It's a good idea. Make it hard that I club the bear.
Oh my.
You do what?
Good idea.
You do
Good
what?
thinking.
Bardolph is pissed. First of all, Bardolph is going to attempt to escape your grapple. So, what is your athletics DC, good Zerg?
Do I just roll for athletics?
It's just 10 plus your athletics modifier. DC
Oh.
is a total that he needs to hit. The aggressor rolls, the defender just has a DC.
Well, I'm proficient as fuck in it. Is that?
It's
make a
whatever the
difference?
number is. What's your perception? Plus 6, I
Oh.
think?
So is that 17
So-
for athletics.
Yeah.
Alright.
That was what I meant, is athletics. Yeah, 10 plus the number. So yeah, your set is DC 17. He's going to attempt to escape the grapple. And he is going to succeed. He is a bear. And you are being distracted.
And there's pans in my pants. Hello?
Yeah, it's
There are
true.
branches scrabbling in your pants right now. And he, very angry, is going to bite out towards Zerg. But the good news is escaping the grapple does have the attack trait. So he is taking, like, he has to shake you off. He can't mount nearly as good of an offense here. So what is your armor class, your AC?
18.
18? He is going to miss! In fact, as all of his effort is put into just trying to get you off of him. But he's going to follow it up once with a half-hearted claw swipe as he tries to just make some space and back into this wagon away from you here. And he's going to miss that one too. Zerg has been fueled with fury from this assistance, apparently.
I'm helping.
Yeah, oily butterfly.
Selwyn.
I am standing here, very wide-eyed. And,
Can't believe the bear fucking missed everything.
Is there holding in second edition? Like
There
as it
is,
in
yeah.
first?
You can delay, which is just you can step back into initiative after any given turn.
I would like to step back until after Cirque,
All right, we can do that.
and I'll like look over my shoulder. Gray, we've got a bit of situation developing here.
Lizard man.
Zerg, I swear to God. and I grapple Zerg, or is that not a
Oh my.
You can grab Zerg, yes. Athletics
Let's go.
versus his fortitude DC.
Okay, dokie.
Do you want to grab him or do you want to shove him? Because unlike first edition, you can't do anything with somebody you've grabbed. You can't like grab them and move them. Grabbing them just
Okay.
holds them in place.
I guess I will shove then. So
Okay.
that's an athletics still?
There's also an athletics versus his fort DC.
Ooh, 23.
I am pretty sure that's a success. So that's going to shove
17 for me.
shove Zerg 5 feet back away from you, so we can go into any of these 3 squares. That's
Yeah,
where the
I'm going to
wagon's
just do
probably
it
the way
right
that
next
one.
to Ara.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that
you
one.
shove him back as this little
Still
Leshy
attached to him.
swings around attached to his pants. We're just going back, so I guess the Leshy's gonna swing back with him. All right, that's
Slam the door closed again. I'm like, Artemis! Artemis
Okay.
is fair!
Arvis. Sorry, it's clicked. I double clicked and went past you.
It's all good. Okay, so I'm sort of dusting myself off a little bit, and then I'm gonna start walking towards Bardoff, the bear.
Well, the closed wagon now.
Interconnect. Ooh, connection unstable. Great. Walking towards him.
Okay.
I get to about here.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna start trying to diplomate to him, talk to him. Still hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So you can attempt to request for the bear. Your wild empathy lets you do that, which is a single action. It can only be done if a creature that is friendly or helpful to you, and I would say Bardoff is normally friendly. He is just very scared right now. So it is just a diplomacy roll. And what are you trying to ask of this bear? Is it stopped mauling us? Because I feel like it's probably stopped mauling us.
Calm the fuck down.
I think his Discord disconnected. So I'm going to take the
yeah.
liberty of assuming that it is in fact stopped mauling us.
Uh-oh, his camera shut off. He
Um,
turned red.
That is unfortunate, and we will fix that in a moment. Cameras are going to be a little fucked up until Shemby gets back in. Sorry, everybody. But I will go ahead and just roll a diplomacy check for him off of his character sheet. And with an 18, he is going to... Oh, there we go. Successfully request that Bardolph stop mauling the party. Whether that is going to stop him or not is the question. But that does leave you with 1 action left, Shemmy. You good? You back in?
Yeah, I'm in. So I diplomated. That was 1.
You diplomated, you rolled, you got an 18. I assumed you were asking him to stop attacking us.
Yeah, stop.
Seemed like a
attacks.
safe assumption.
One action
But he's
move,
kind of
one
locked
action
in a
diplomate.
wagon right now. Yep, so you got 1 action left.
Can I just diplomate more further?
You've already requested him. You can't
Okay.
just
Can't
try
do
it again.
And oof. I got nothing else I can think of at the moment.
So real quick, before Zerg, Colby, in Zoom, can I have you turn your webcam off and back on?
How do I do
Down the
that?
bottom left, there should be the little camera icon. If you just click it, it'll turn your camera off, and click it again,
Yeah,
it'll turn it
stop
back on.
video and then start.
Yep.
Stop video.
And start video.
Start video.
And then Monolith, can you do the same thing? And now we shall be in the right order. Perfect. All right, Zerg, it is your turn.
I'm gonna rip the sticky hand from my crotch.
I let go. Like.
Oh, you let go?
He is stopped.
Oh, okay. I guess.
So it's just
I'll
a
inspect the
it's just a-
damage.
Well, nothing, because he was unsuccessful. Just maybe some little skin scratches, because his hands are almost literally just branches.
Zerg's pissed. Zerg's pissed. He's, you know, we're still in
Vincent's
combat,
pissed.
right?
Pissed.
Still in combat. There's still a very angry bear in the wagon. His wagon's just closed at the moment.
Again.
Yes,
Again.
there was
Again.
very angry bear. Now there is very angry orc.
Half.
I'm gonna rage.
All right.
Oh no!
He
I'm
mad.
gonna rage.
All right.
Just 1 minute of just orcish fury.
So what happens when you rage? Because I believe your instinct is a little interesting, Zerg.
Is when Zerg rages, he taps into his animal instinct, which is the instinct of the ape. Bare-fisted, big palms coming at you. The body hair that already glistens on Zerg triples in length. Super Saiyan, but everywhere. Still hairy and black, but just
So he-
full fur mode.
All right. He almost looks like a half-orc ape as he bursts into an actual bestial rage. That's one action.
And I'm going to charge the side of the caravan. You messed with the wrong one, bear.
Okay. So you want to attempt to break through the side of the caravan? You have two options. You can either hit it and then just deal damage, or you can attempt an athletics check to quite literally just burst the side of the wagon, to just rip
that
it
one.
open in a single go.
Oh yeah.
All
Reverse
right.
That.
Give me an athletics check, Zerg.
Oh.
Do I get any bonuses because I'm raging though?
You do
Or is
not.
that
I don't think that gives
No,
you any
it's only-
bonuses inherently to your athletics. I think there's stuff that can give you that later
It's for
on.
combat.
Yeah, it's
combat,
largely
so
for
yeah.
damage. So you are you're mad, but you're so angry you want to rip this wagon open, but you kind of lose your sense here. You're just kind of beating your fists on the ground and against the side of the wagon with no real purpose or direction. And Selwyn, rage move, burst. Yeah, that's 3 actions.
Yeah.
Well, I'll move to here. Look flabbergasted. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's like rocking the whole wagon back and forth, clinging on the side of it.
He's a pet, not a foe.
He should have thought of that before he tried to attack me.
He's a bear.
I'm an orc.
That's it. I'm stealing his haunch.
Are you?
Are you going to attempt to steal the meat out of Zerg's fancy? Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Why is everybody grabbing Duncer's pants?
That's a natural one. That is a critical fail. Attempting to teach this rampaging ape a lesson, Selwyn reaches into his pants and definitely grabs some meat. But that is... His mom put that there, not him.
I'm gonna feel past and try again.
No!
After an awkward moment, you spend your second action scrambling to put your hands anywhere else and are unsuccessful at stealing Zerg's meat, which is
I
Ara?
stole the meat that mattered.
Why does everybody want my meat?
I will
Ara.
give Zerg a grin.
Oh my. Oh my.
I look.
What is happening?
I honestly don't know what I can do in this situation.
You could also try
He'll
and steal
interrupt
meat
the
again.
meat.
Can't.
around his 6 seconds. You're awestruck. What do you do? Are you just frozen?
Yeah, pretty much. I cast dancing lights. That's it.
You're like, to distract himself, almost confused here. He wants to turn his attention elsewhere, but he can't look away. So he literally casts dancing lights to give himself something else to focus on than this shit show unfolding in front of him. Sig is also gonna take a step back from this. You may only be able to see his eyes, but there is so much expression of fear in those eyes right now as he looks over whatever the fuck is happening around this wagon.
I hope it has a happy ending.
And everyone just looks on in absolute horror. It comes down to Bardolph. Lizard Man, as you're braced against the door here, ready for Bardolph to attempt to bash his way out. That doesn't happen. You don't feel anything other than like the, admittedly at this point, kind of gentle rocking of the wagon as Zerg is a little distracted right now. You don't hear any more of these aggressive roars from Bardolph so much as you hear almost just a mournful wail. Confused in the back of the wagon. Arbus.
I am. The door's still closed now for the
Door's still closed. Lizard Man's still up against it with his with it closed, but nothing's
There's a
nothing's
hole
hitting
next to
it.
the door where he can grab the rope, so like you could see in.
There's a rope on the inside too.
Oh, okay. I thought you said
And
there was
well, the
scratch
door
marks.
just swings out, so from the inside he can just kind of push it. There's not, it doesn't latch shut, but there is a rope on the inside he can pull it shut with.
Okay. I am going to move up to the lizard. Open the door. And hope that he opens it for me so I can go in. I want to go in with the bear.
Do you want to open the door, Lizard Man?
No. I guess I don't really have a whole lot of control. I'm going to say, look down at Arbus. No. And I'm going to go to the next one of the next thing. Try and get like a really like a 4x4 or a 4x8 that's laying around, and try and wedge it between the ground and the door, and we can go figure out what else is around here. That's
Well, there's
maybe
no just like large loose boards around
We're at
the
a
Fort
circus
John's
where we had to put up a
wagon.
whole-
Yeah, I mean you'd have to go get some though. They're not like in immediate grabbing range.
There is a horse enclosure right next door. I will take out the middle board of one of the fences, tear it off.
Well, when you walk
Okay.
away, I'm going to go in.
I said no.
when he walks away and Arvis opens the door. And as Lizard Man is pulling off the middle beam of this paddock fence, Arvis slides the door open and you see Bardolph cowered in the back, looking as ashamed as a bear possibly could, his nose down like he knows he did bad, back against the backside of the wagon here. And
I'm
he's
just
like
gonna
kind of side-eyeing you. He know he did bad.
show him my hands, or like paws, not like human hands. I curl them together like this, and I just sort of hang them at my side as I walk in barefoot slowly towards him, and I get try to get as close as I can to him and just sit next to him and maybe.
While this is happening, Zerg and Selwyn, what's going on this side of the wagon
I'm like
here?
desperately
Raging
trying to hold him back.
Barbarian
Like,
and gnome who is
"Someone
digging
help
through
me
his
stop
trousers.
this man!
So I
I'm
will-
not strong.
I will posit to you, Mono,
Dang.
that Barbarian Rage ends after a minute, or if you can no longer perceive any enemies. So I will leave that to your discretion, whether or not you are still raging here at the side of the wagon.
I'm still a little angry.
But the hair recedes, the ape fades.
Yeah. Everybody calm down. It's all right. It's fine. I didn't lose my cool. I'm in charge of the situation.
Sun's getting real low, buddy.
You still probably have like 2 hours until sundown or so, because your show would have been fairly early in the afternoon because sunlight is your main light. You don't have like spotlights or anything to light up your performances. You need the sun and you need a clear day. So there's still a couple hours for sundown.
Slick, can I posit you an idea? I'm referring to you, Cirque.
Yeah, I wait for what you have to say.
I really dig the whole long hair, big and scary, fantastic,
Yeah.
love it. Can you do it to something that isn't our pets?
You tell that to Pet.
The pet was scared. I'm sure when we find the perpetrators, right? That's when you go, bam, the 1-2, the monkey business, right?
Yes. Let this be warning to anyone who tries to stop Zerg.
I mean, the roustabouts are just like hands up at the fences here. They're not sure what's
Nope.
going on. The lizard man's coming back with a huge board,
Just-
but sees Artemis is already in the door. Like,
Don't fight the livestock. Oh, that livestock. The pets.
Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
I'll buy you extra meat.
Well, everybody,
Oh.
they tried to grab my meat today. It's apparently meat not safe.
Me not saying.
I'd like to say I think I succeeded.
you did. You definitely grabbed some meat.
Yes, we talk about this later. The grabbing of the meat situation is a problem. We talk about this later.
He's a massive ape half-orc. You are a tiny gnome woman. You are probably like almost the size of his meat. Selwyn is not large. You're like, how tall is Selwyn?
About 3 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you like 2'7"? Like, yeah.
Someone's bigger than Aura.
So, Artemis, as you're entering the wagon and Lizard Man approaches here with the middle board he is wrenched off of the nearby horse paddock. Bardolph is like shying back for you, but it's not defensive anymore. It's he knows he's in trouble. And it is the shame bear that you're getting right now.
Oh, it's fine. I'm fine. Look, barely a scratch. It's okay. What happened?
So, you get a feeling from Bardolph. He can't impart to you in detail everything that's happened, but he's a bear. But someone spoke to him like you do. And told him that someone was coming to kill him.
Oh.
You get that primal fight or flight fear from him.
You do not need to worry. I'm the Stormborn. No one can hurt you. And I just sit there
He
and sort of
starts
pat him.
he does start to calm a bit as you talk to him, as he realizes obviously you guys aren't here to murder him. Lizard man, with your board, what are you doing here?
I'd have the board. Look in there, see like cuddles happening. Go walk back to the paddock. And then try and I'll just like wedge the board in between the fence. It wouldn't be even remotely how it was before. But I'll just like wedge
Just
the
kind
board
of
in
lay it there.
While that's all going, I want to approach Zerg.
Seems to be what everyone wants to do right now.
Hey, Zerg. Look, I want to get a good view from high up. How high do you think you can throw me up?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Motherfucker. It's good question. Very, very high.
Let's find out.
Wait, why do you think he could throw you higher?
Oh,
It's
he's
obvious.
the strongest.
No.
He felt me. He know how strong I am.
Oh, God.
I could throw you higher.
Well, then you both throw me up. Someone toss me.
Do we also have to catch you, or?
No. at
Okay,
all.
you're good. Okay, good.
All
So
right.
we both throw, see who'll throw further.
This
huh?
sounds like it's time for 2 athletics checks to me.
Yeah.
To see who
Straight
can
up.
pitch Ara hard in the air.
Ooh.
18 from Lizard. You grab a hold of Ara and you
Oh.
throw. Oh!
Oh!
Ooh, Ara grabs a hold of
Slippery
Lizard
man.
and
I'm
tosses
tired, I was
Ara
angry.
rather, and tosses Ara up into the air. And you can't be
into
thrown.
the lip of the
Yeah, a little higher than the
carriage.
wagons. He's pretty light, but you're still trying to like two-handed hurl a person. He's a light person, but still a
Very
fairly
light person.
surprisingly dense person. Well, does it have a thing for the weight of a Leshy? Because your like fall damage thing isn't that you like float to the ground yet, is it?
No.
It's just that you're very springy and the ground doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, I use my leaves to soften my fall, but it doesn't
Probably
have
still, I imagine,
any-
like 30, 40 pounds.
Yeah, I would imagine somewhere around 30 or less.
Yeah, so you can throw them fairly high. You can throw them a little bit higher than these wagons. Like, that's pretty high up into the air for a person. So you can, in a brief moment, get a view of the whole campground here. The wagons sprawling out away to the south. Some of the roustabouts breaking off from the campfire. Have broken off from the campfire towards the woods to go chop some more boards for the fire. And just the sprawling rocks out to the southeast. And then Zerg grabs you. Smug. Goes to throw you, but he's a very slippery man. And with his critical
Oh, yeah.
failure, he just fucking slams you into the side of Bardolph's wagon.
I just told you to stop doing that.
And Ara, you take 4 damage.
Oh no!
And now I'm stuck.
Hands very greasy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
For reference, I
Well-
rolled a d4. It just decided to be 4.
Yeah.
So, at this point,
Zeg, strongest men. Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. I fought a bear. Leave me alone.
at this point, Sig is coming over, seeing that whatever is up with the bear seems to largely have settled. And just kind of nods. What the shit was all that?
I'm gonna throw my hands up. It wasn't my fault.
What's wrong with Bardolph? We hadn't checked on him yet. Doesn't usually get fed till sundown. Did I
He
see him
was
attack
pissed.
you, Arabis?
No, that was a different bear.
Oh, it's nothing. No big deal. He's fine now. Someone talked to him and said they were going to kill him, though. He was very
And
scared.
then about there, you hear a scream coming from the south from the roustabout. Ah, shit! And a commotion
Do you recognize the
happening.
voice?
Several. That's a random roustabout. You recognize there? You have many roustabouts. That is one of them. And you.
Roustabout B.
It would be coming from down past some of these wagons, a little further down. I can pull all of you, actually. I believe. Let me remember how to do that. Roll 20.
Shift,
Down.
left click, or alt.
Yeah,
left
shift
click.
left click. There it is. Down here. You'll hear a scream and see a couple of roustabouts sprawling back from the tree line as some of the people near the campfire turn at the disturbance. And as he runs back, you'd hear one of them backing away a little bit further, just barely into where you can see him. Wood-cutting axe in hand. Other hand up kind of cautiously, just looking towards the trees. Ah, it's a fucking snake!
Well, Cirque, I think you have something to fight now.
I'm tired.
You've got to be kidding me.
Now you have performance issues.
I guess I could go fight it for both of us since you know.
Ah, never mind. I
Feeling
go.
under the
We
weather.
go. We both go. It's good.
So as the group of you make your way down there, you move past these set of wagons here. And these ones behind Bardolph's are all of yours. Actually, this one on the far left would be Selwyn's wagon, and the southern one is Ara's, and the eastern is Arabis. All your wagons up here near the animals, circled around with the professor and the sideshow. And you'd make your way down to this little crossing. This creek that's running through the area has two main places you walk over it. This kind of low ford where you can just hop across some stones, and a wooden bridge that you've just laid down a little further up north. But you hop across over to where the one roustabout's just kind of standing near the tree line. He sees the group of you coming and puts a hand up. No! Fucking snakes came out of nowhere. I don't fuck with these trees. You can get out wood elsewhere.
Well, if they're snakes, we should probably deal with them, right?
And about then, you would see the other one who had run back drop like a sack of shit unconscious on the floor near the fire. As immediately people rush to check on him. Just on the other side of one of Mordrain's two wagons right here.
Selwyn, is he okay?
I think you need to go check on him, Gray.
Okay. And I go.
I'll go with you.
As you come over here, you see this man. He's pulled up one of his pants legs up above his knee, and you can see clearly similar to what happened with the ringleader with Thunder. It looks like he was bit twice in his calf by a similarly sized snake, and he is currently laying on the ground and spasming. His mouth starting to foam. And a Tulip there looks up at you. Arabis, love, can you do something about this? He's dying.
I will
Doesn't
try.
want to try to suck out the poison.
So what you'll be doing here is a medicine check. When you have a healer's kit here to
I do.
attempt to treat poison.
All right. Medicine check. Ooh, that's 13.
With a 13.
I don't get plus from the thing. Never mind. Thought I
No,
got a plus
that
from the
is
healer's kit.
that is going to fail. So you kneel down and you try to tend to him here, but you don't know much to do with this. You don't have like an anti-venom or anything on hand. There's only so much you can do. You can attempt to like tourniquet his leg, but it looks like it's already spread.
That one, there's not much more I can do.
What about that fancy medicine, like the quick patch up? Will that not work? Anything?
Would I know if battle medicine would help this guy?
The problem is he's still poisoned. So even if like mechanically it would heal him a little, without being able to treat the poison, you can try again. You can try it possibly one more time. Someone can step up and quickly
Someone else
try to
can,
help
or
him.
I-
But you
or-
can try again, or someone else can step up. It's up to you guys.
I think it should
wait,
be you.
Wait, isn't
You only have a moment.
Isn't the guy immune for an hour or no?
This
No,
isn't
that's
treat
for-
wounds. This is treat poison. It's a different action.
Oh, okay.
It's also one action. It's not 10 minutes. This
Yeah.
is a quick triage.
Oh, gotcha.
Someone, you can try again, Arbus. Someone could step up, but he's only
I
got
think this is your
seconds.
area.
Okay, well, if no one else steps up real quick, and that quick eye with Selwyn, I'm gonna try
Oh
again.
my god, you made a Zergamode. Holy crap.
So,
17. A little bit better.
With a 17, his leg now properly tied and tourniqueted. You do your best with some just basic herbs and salves you have on hand to try to stem the spread of this poison. And it doesn't bring him back conscious. It doesn't wake him up. But you're able to stop this writhing on the ground. He's not dead. His heart's still beating, admittedly weakly. And the back of the roustabout with Lizard Man just kind of looks to him. Holy shit. Well, and just drops his axe on the ground. I think that's enough of that for today.
Great job, Gray.
Well, where are the snakes?
He turns and just points back. Well, we were chopping wood. Right over there, just the edge of the tree line.
Did you relay to us that someone told the bear someone was calling to kill him? Arabus?
Don't believe she has yet.
Told the guy,
no.
the
I told the
guy that was
guy
walking over,
when
yeah.
he walked
And
up.
we were
Oh, yeah.
here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we would know.
Yeah, okay, you know.
All right. Well, if someone could speak to him the same, well, or could speak to the bear at all, they surely would be able to speak to snakes, right? That
But why would
seems
they speak that way to threaten? That's
to sabotage? If this was indeed done by the Celestial Menagerie, then, sending animals against us, very simple solution and it's hard to track.
Well, the bear was already friendly to us. Snakes might not be, even if we talk to them. I don't think.
No, if I go snakes, I'm saying we kill them. So
Yeah.
they're kind of
Okay.
safe.
Same. Agreed.
At this point, on the other end of the fire, Juliessa steps forward. And her sisters, at this point, come over to the circle as well here. And they both start digging through some of their things they just have at hand here for a lute. Pulling up an instrument, a lute and a tambourine.
Are you
as
going to perform for us?
Juliessa just sort of looks over to you. Well, I suppose to lighten the mood, would it not? That's what the masters typically demanded us perform back in Escadar when they wanted calmed. Figured it'd help.
It'll be great background music for us slaughtering snakes. Let's go.
And Tulip scowls at you and turns and waves the hand of the flamboyant sisters. I think that's a great idea, dear. Play us something merry, something to lift our spirits. And just turns back around, teeth just gritted at Lizard Man.
Well, we're not going to be murdering your snake.
I don't think that was the issue.
Oh.
It's fine. I'll tell you later. Don't
And
worry
she
about
just motions to the roustabout. I think you ought to come in here by the fire, hon. We got enough wood for now. Nothing safe out here. And just looks over the body to Arabus. Have you found anything? Anything of what's going on here? Any source of this? This is madness.
It appears to be someone that can speak to the animals like me. Only not as nice. They're not Stormborn.
Well, can you fix it? Is that something you can undo? I don't know nothing about the way you can talk to these animals, sweetie. But if you got anything, not much we can do if the whole wild's turned against us.
The
How many of
wild
these
will not
damn
turn
snakes
against me.
are there?
At least 4.
Probably higher than we can count.
Come on, how many snakes could there be?
Snake, no problem.
Snake, no problem. I agree with Zeg.
The Tulip and Yagi sit here with this roustabout is unconscious, has been taken down by this poison. The other one comes in nearby, sitting very uncomfortably by the way back from the fire here. Super worried.
I'll draw my short swords Well, we need to secure the perimeter anyway. May as well start at the place where we know there's danger.
Salwen, do we really need to kill all the snakes, though?
If you can get the snakes to leave without... Can you guarantee you'll be safe? I don't think you can.
No.
I think the whole druidic thing is the circle of life, right? They've heard one of ours, and we'll make them leave.
We'll make them leave.
Okay. But we have to at least try to not be violent.
If the two gentlemen here can form a vanguard around you, that's something I'll happily agree to. And I'll point to good old Cirque and Lizard.
Alright, so if we're heading down to the trees, yeah, go ahead and move yourself downabouts here and whatever marching order, whatever system you're gonna have.
Just me. No.
Just
Just
Lizard Man.
Lizard
Heading
Man.
off into the trees.
With the
Just me
tree.
and Ara.
Take your safety plant.
How about you, Zerg? Where you want to sit in this little excursion?
Zerg want to keep some distance from Stick.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I like it that he doesn't mention he wants to keep some distance from Selwyn.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
Selwyn did it.
Foreshadowing, perhaps?
Yeah, no problem with what Selwyn did,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Ara was just Stick scraping on his legs. Selwyn went right
It's
for the
been a
kill.
while.
I have very dexterous hands.
Yikes.
So as you move up into the tree line here, you can pretty immediately and clearly see another one of these very poisonous vipers here on the ground. This thing curled up defensively. Almost certainly the one who had just struck out about the roustabout. Lizard Man taking point as you're searching, moving forward. You see there is not just one of them, but two that have moved together down here on the very edge of the tree line, right towards the camp. I mean, this little wood goes back a few hundred feet. It's a decent little copse, but they're as close to the edge of civilization here as possible. And as you get close, these two are much different than the ones that you had found up in the stands during the show. They're not defensive. They're not scared. They are very, very aggressive, and they're also very small. When you get about 10 feet out to where you can see them, not only do they both coil, ready to strike, you hear a significantly larger problem unfold itself
Oh,
from
no.
the undergrowth.
oh.
Ah.
No. It's
And
correct.
with that,
Not friend. Got it.
I am
Big
going to
snake.
need some initiative.
Will we still have been in the exploration mode, the same as before?
Yes, so Arbus is still scouting. Tell me if any of you change your exploration modes,
Right,
by the way.
that's
You
what I was
automatically go to
wondering.
exploration mode between encounters. So you do all get a +1 from Arbus.
See, now there's the other side of the coin.
Okay, let me roll these. It's going to be 16 and an 18. And large snake gentleman.
Please go after me.
What? Why would you do
Please go slower than me.
Got a nat 20, so
Oh, shit.
Yes, eat me.
Oh, shit.
Fantastic.
all right, so players win ties. Lizard Man goes before this viper. But as this massive snake rolls out from the underbrush here, it is moving directly for the kill. It's not playing around at all. It is going right in for Lizard Man leading the charge here. Lizard Man, what is your AC?
18.
Alrighty. And it is going to lash out And fortunately, like, you have your armor on and stuff by now. You guys all kitted out to come out here and explore. And I mean, you wear your armor as part of the show anyway. So as it comes out, you are just barely able to react in time to blunt this blow and stop it from sinking its fangs into you. But it is just going to try again with a second lash. And the second bite's going to be a lot more successful as it manages to bite down on you. So, it's pretty big. So unlike the little ones, the fangs actually do some damage. You're going to take 4 damage from this bite. And you know I need a fortitude save.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry, I had to step forward first, so it's right here.
22.
Solid. So as you, as it bites into you, you can feel this burning. You can feel this venom coursing through you, but your Iruxi biology is pretty hardy. And it's just going to hurt. It's not going to be a mechanical downside. And after this kind of clumsy attempt over a few seconds to get fangs on you, it pulls its mouth back and it coils itself up, readying to strike. Selwyn.
All right. I'll look at Gray and wince for a bit, and I'll start moving. 2, 3, 4, which would be 25 feet in Pathfinder.
Right.
And I will cast Electric Arc on the snake, specifically the big snake, and ignore the 2 on the side, hoping maybe they can still do something.
All right.
And I need a DC from the snake. It's a DC 16.
That's a reflex save?
Reflex, yes.
So it's across the... Which 2 snakes again? Sorry.
Just one. Just the one snake. This big snake. It
Oh,
doesn't have
just
to
the
be,
big snake.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
more
it
than
doesn't
one
have to
creature.
target 2. Okay.
Yeah.
And he is going to make a reflex save, which he is going to critically succeed.
Whoa.
He's a snake. He's fast. He may be large, but he's very fast.
And that just negates, right? It's the same as...
Yep. A critical
yeah,
succeed will take no damage. He avoids the electricity entirely. So Lizard Man, then.
Okay, I'm gonna glance back at Zig. Now it's time. And go in with snarl, like my lips will start to snarl out, and I'll just go in and try and tear out the throat of the snake in front of me.
God
Going
damn.
straight for the kill.
Kill it!
Yes.
I mean, it did just try to do that to you, to be fair.
Yeah, see, oof, not very good. With a 14.
Yeah, 14, unfortunately, is very definitely going to be a miss.
Okay.
Again, it's pretty quick.
Yeah. So if I want to raise my shield and then no, that's 2 things. I can't like keep my shield up and move. So I guess
If you raise
I
your
will...
shield, okay, you raise your shield doesn't have to be the last action. If you raise your shield as any action, your shield is raised until your next turn. You don't have to do, so you can raise it and move if that's what you want to do. Like you can do that last.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to
Okay,
raise
yeah.
it as one of your actions.
Okay, so then I will raise my shield and go move to the other side of the snake, trying to get it so that it's not kind of aiming towards the others.
All right, and as you do move through around this snake here, it avoiding your strike and avoiding the electric arc follows you with its head, but doesn't seem to really be able to take advantage of your movement.
Okay.
It's went kind of all into biting and is just now trying to recover its posture.
Okay.
So then it is 2 vipers. The viper on the bottom is going to slither towards you as you move.
And
it is
can I, as it moves towards me, can I attack of opportunity it or no?
you only have 5 foot reach, don't you?
Oh yeah, it has to. Oh, okay, so it has to.
Yeah, it has to
can't,
move
like, move into...
through a threatened square, out of a
Okay,
threatened
okay,
square,
okay,
right?
okay.
So it's going to move up to you, and it is also going to try to bite against your AC of
Okay.
18, you said?
20 because my shield is raised.
20 because your shield is raised. Well, with your shield raised, it is absolutely just going to clank off, unable to get its tiny little snake at its seemingly easy for you to just keep this creature away. It could certainly slip by. But after its attempt, it is then going to slink back into the tree line. And then is when you would get your attack of opportunity.
So I'm going to try and snatch its tail as it slithers away. Much better with an 18.
18 will absolutely hit.
7 for 6 damage.
And that almost just kills it outright. It is a very small little snake. It's not very hardy. This is a regular snake. You have one giant fantasy snake and then just a regular snake. So a 6 damage claw hit almost does it instantly. The second of the vipers is going to move towards its closest foe here, which is Zerg. Zerg, what is your armor class right now?
It is 18.
And he will also try to bite you. And he's going to be a little more successful. He is going to get you with a bite. Your armor unable to protect you from this one, and you having not really reacted before he's already lashed out of the bushes. You are going to take 1 damage. This is a regularly sized snake. It's not the fangs that do the damage. I need a fortitude save. It's not going to kill you by ripping you apart with its tiny little fangs.
19.
Similar to lizard man biology, Zerg is strongest man alive, so he says. Tiny snake venom, certainly not enough to cause Zerg any real problems. It just hurts, but it's not going to cause you any lethal issues. And that snake is also going to retreat back a little further into the tree line. Arabus!
I am going to move back a couple spaces here, just behind my mighty friend.
Fair enough.
I'm going to lock eyes, or I guess, yeah, giant snake eyes, and I am going to inform it. I am the Valatu, the Stormborn. Cease this hostility, or you will be slain. And tell him that. I didn't want it to be so hostile, but I was gonna go.
Give me your diplomacy. Nice. It is. You can diplomacy or intimidate animals with your wild empathy. You can coerce or you can request.
That is definitely request.
Okay.
That is. Oh boy, that's an 8.
So with an 8, you get nothing but a seething hate from this viper, who is intent on killing all of you.
We may be in trouble, and I'm just going.
And it's again, that's not a natural instinct at all. These snakes would be defensive. Even if it was hungry and attacking, it would take one of you to eat. This viper is trying to murder all of you. That is not natural.
Okay. And I can just raise my shield, right? With her.
You can. Oh yeah, you have a regular shield, right? Because druids can do that now. You can absolutely raise your shield as your third action.
I'm just like, oh.
Oh, that didn't work. Zerg.
How close is Zerg to the nearest snake?
About 10 feet. So not at one move action, one stride, unless you got other fancy plans.
Well, there's not much point in using the sudden charges there, because that's still one.
Sudden charges for stuff that's more than one move action away from you. It helps you recoup that.
It's a double stride and an attack, so it's like a double move.
So this is too close quarters for that to really come into play.
Is the small viper closer than the big boy?
They're both. You could get to either. 10 feet gets you here. 10 feet gets you here. You could get to either.
How big is big boy? Like compared to Zerg, perhaps?
The giant viper is enormous. It is significantly larger than Zerg. This thing is glistening red and black scales. It's got to be it's like Mr. Tickles, if not even larger. This is like a 16-foot massive viper. This thing has to weigh hundreds of pounds. It is huge.
Okay.
Just one rules clarification. Mono, there's no flanking in 5e, right?
Flanking.
Oh, you may not know of this. Yes, in Pathfinder, where Lizard Man, this is my mistake for not elucidating us because this is our first real combat here. Good call, Zendon. In Pathfinder, if you are flanking a creature, meaning you're on opposite sides of it, it is considered flat-footed to you, which means its armor class is lowered by 2, and then there's other bonuses that take advantage of the flat-footed condition. So because Lizard Man is down here on the backside, if you were to move up here, either of these squares, doesn't have to be directly across, just on the opposite side of the Viper, you and Lizard Man would be flanking it, and it would be flat-footed to you. I don't know if that's a D&D mechanic you're familiar with.
Not that I'm familiar with, but that's fine.
Okay, that's a
good to know.
thing in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
So just by standing on opposite sides, you basically get a +2.
The flank train.
Zerg is not sure whether to attack big boy or deal with small problem to get rid of it and remove it from the issue.
Well, in the heat of combat, here's a quick reaction. What does Zerg go for? He doesn't have all the time in the world to think about it. Combat's happening.
Big boy, run! Run straight to the big boy, right in front of it.
All right.
I'm gonna punch it in the face.
You stride up and you punch it in the face. You rage against the bear in the wagon, but this was just going to give baps. So give me your unarmed attack roll. Because flat-footed just lowers his AC, so you don't have to modify anything for your roll.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Jesus.
Not
Christ.
bad.
26 is so close to a critical hit, but not quite. Even with the flanking, not quite. But you are solidly going to smack it for 6 damage.
Nah, it's good.
Now, you hit pretty hard, but he is also pretty large. That's pissed it off.
It's no problem.
It's no problem.
So you have with your third action, you can just attack again, but every consecutive time you attack in a turn, you take a multiple attack penalty, which is normally a -5, but since you're using unarmed strikes, which have the agile trait, it's only a -4. So if you swing it again, you'll take a -4 penalty, more or less.
You can't really tackle a snake, can you? You can't really. But
I
I'm
mean,
going to try. I'm going to jump on its neck and grab on.
So grabbing does still take the -5 because
Yeah.
that is still an attack action. So now athletics check at a -5 to try to wrestle this massive beast.
He's not so good. I rolled 12.
Zerg continues to attempt to prove he is the strongest man alive, and he may very well be. That's pretty ballsy. But that is going to fail, unfortunately. Is that 12 with the -5 or without it?
That's without it, so 7.
So it's a 7. So that's a
Wait,
critical
would it be
failure.
would it -4?
You don't get to agile an athletics check. It's not attacking, it's grappling.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually a 7, which is a critical failure. So you attempt to wrestle this thing. You attempt to grab onto its tail as it's turned away
gosh.
from you. But you underestimate how truly massive this thing is. And just with a slight shift of its body, it knocks you to the ground. And you are prone. Ara!
Should have seen this coming.
I'm gonna take a lot of the steps back. Hi, friend. And
Move a
then I'm
little
just gonna,
ways away from the giant snake.
yeah. And I'm just gonna cast produce flame at the giant snake. I remember how to operate computer.
Ooh, nice.
So you sling out some fire
And
towards
it
this creature.
gets +1 additional fire damage because it's my blood magic.
Let me double check, because flanking in second edition is a little different. He is not just flat-footed. He is flat-footed to the creatures who are flanking him. So he's not flat-footed to you. So with an 18, you'll fling out this handful of fire at the serpent, and its sheer bulk, its scaly hide, seems to protect it from the brunt of the assault. An 18 will miss as that splashes across him.
Whoa.
That's rude.
But he's angry. And there's a prone half-orc next to him.
Oh, no.
And he's going to give him some nips. So, Zerg, you are flat-footed, which reduces your AC by 2. So that puts you at 16, I believe.
Yes.
He's going to give you some bites.
Ooh, love nibbles.
And he is absolutely going to be able to sink his fangs into you as he knocks you down on the ground and wheels around to address whatever the hell is happening behind him. And you are going to take 4 damage. And I'm going to need a fortitude save from you. His poison's a little more powerful than the poison possessed by the tiny snakes, as you feel a much more intense searing pain course through you.
Which save?
Fortitude.
That's not good. That's a 10.
So here's what we'll introduce: a new system here, and now we're kind of getting grips here. So there's a mechanic called hero points. At the moment, I don't have any cool way for chat to give us hero points right now. But what I can give you is for every session, you'll have 1 hero point for free. It's a session reroll. It's a use it or lose it. If you don't burn it, it goes away, and you'll just get another one at the start of the next episode regardless. And that allows you to re-roll any one check. You can also use all of your hero points to prevent yourself from dying in most situations where you otherwise would. Now, for hilarity from the last fight, I will also give Ara, Selwyn, and Zerg a regular hero point, because chat can't give them to you right now, and those you hang on to. So mark that down somewhere that you've all got 1 hero point.
I'll
in addition
do it for the
to
party sheet.
Okay, in addition to your session reroll, which you get every session. So if you want to reroll that fortitude save as the point of this rant, you can, or you can save that point for something you might think may be more valuable later.
I might. Yeah, I take. He's much
Turning
better
it.
as 20.
Turning a 10 into a 20 will let you fight off even this mighty viper's poison. And it is just going to savage into you as you lay on the ground here, biting at you again. But the second bite, fortunately, is going to miss, as you don't writhe in pain nearly as much as it expects you to. And now, after this initial assault here, it is going to take a moment to coil itself up properly, to take a real defensive pose. Its fangs poised and ready to lash out at anyone nearby. Selwyn.
Oh, yeah. Would I know whether or not Circus is still flanking from the prone position? He would, because he's...
He is, yes, he's still threatening, yep.
Yes, right. Okay. 1.
Flanking in second edition is pretty much, are you on opposite sides of the thing? If yes, flanking.
And I'll cast Electric Arc again, targeting the wounded snake and the big snake.
All right, and you are flanking, so I don't think that actually matters to that spell, because it's just a reflex save.
It's just a reflex save, yes.
Does flat-footed affect reflex saves in second edition? A quick Google search says no, it is just AC. So, giant snake. What was the DC you said? 16?
16.
Giant snake is going to succeed. Oh, my dice are rolling twice for some reason, so he's going to take half.
Right.
And tiny snake is going to fail, so he's going to take full.
Big snake takes 3, and tiny snake takes 6.
And that surge of electricity is certainly going to be enough to finish off the small wounded snake and deal 3 more damage to the large one as well. Alrighty, Lizard Man.
I am going to lash out again. The snake is around, so maybe I can just rake my claws down the kind of the back of its like spine there, and try and distract it away from the guy on the ground. With a 15, not very good.
15. I mean, at this point, it's faced away from you, and it's pretty hefty and large. So you kind of assume that's free for you, and you rake your claws across its scales. But just as it is massive, its scales are like armored hide. It's like scale mail, like metal plate, and your claws clatter across it, making that sound and trying to be annoying, but harmlessly. 15 will miss the flat-footed.
Alright, and then I'm going to raise my shield and move away from the snake.
Right, and as you do, from its defensive posture, it's going to move 5 feet, intentionally not stepping, I figure. It is going to whip around and lash out towards you with its fangs and an attack of opportunity. So what is your AC with your shield up?
20.
It's going to miss. Your shield's able to deflect the blow. Tactics! Look at this. Big brain. Alright, and this remaining Viper.
Can I move sideways and still...
You can move wherever you want. What do you mean sideways?
Like there?
Oh yeah, you can move, like, the
Yeah.
trees are not thick enough here
I
to
didn't
prevent
know,
you
okay.
from moving. Yeah, you can
Okay.
move around this whole area of the map largely. wherever you can see, they're not too thick to move. I put the dynamic lighting on where it gets too
Oh,
dense.
okay. Just
Yeah.
making sure.
So yeah, you can move through that fine. This
Perfect.
Viper is just gonna go hang out with his mom. He's not smart enough to flank you, but he is smart enough to go bite the dude that's just kind of laying on the ground. And he is going to critically hit, which is fortunate for you because that he appears to do 1 damage. So if he high rolls this, it's bad. But the good news is that only doubles. That doesn't make the poison any worse. That only doubles the front end of damage. And these little snakes are not particularly bitey, though he could high roll it. He high rolled it. It's gonna do. He rolled a 2, so that's gonna be 4 from that critical hit. A terrible foe, to be certain. Before, again, slithering back away into the underbrush. And I need yet another fortitude save as just gallons of poison are just injected into Zerg's prone body here. And he just doesn't care at all. He just
24.
does not give a single shit about this poison.
Better him than me.
Zerg is truly the strongest man alive. Aravis.
He doesn't really care about poison at all.
You just watch him getting bit
No, he
over and
doesn't.
over, and he's just irritated. He's taking some damage, but
So I'll just kind of like let out a sigh of like disappointment and just hold my fingertips out. And I want to do an electric arc from my fingertips to the giant snake and little snake.
you seem to be going pretty well. So keep fishing for the win here.
Yeah.
All right, what is your spell DC?
17.
The large snake will succeed. He is very fast. It does not roll an attack.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's just reflex saves. No, it doesn't need an attack. But it will do 5 damage.
that out.
So we'll do 2 to the large snake. And the smaller snake will fail, taking the whole 5. And then about cooks that little thing alive. Again, it's a regular snake. It can't take that much damage. But you are slowly chipping away at the massive Viper, who is now starting to look fairly bloodied and burnt. At least we have 1 action left.
Put my shield back up.
All right. Zerg! How is the ground?
Is not as hard as cold. I don't like it. So it's gonna cost an action to get up, right?
Yes.
All right. Zerg, stand up. Brush self off. This, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna rage.
So he's mad now. The hair grows out.
Now he's mad.
These little toothpicks come at me is very annoying. Now I'm angry because I'm annoyed. You keep bothering me. Try to help my friend and you bite. Yeah. Extra hairy now.
Just this burning poison running down across his body from all these these bites. He's just pissed.
And Zerg is gonna bite the big snake. I'm gonna bite it.
You have a bite attack?
No, but I'd just like to try, if you'll allow it.
boy.
I will. Well,
If not, I can punch it again.
you can bite it, but your ape rage very specifically gives you fists, doesn't it? So you're not gonna get the rage attack. The bite would
that's
just be
fine.
it would just be a regular unarmed attack.
Yeah, that's fine. If that's how you want to do it, that's cool. I just want to bite it back. Zerg angry. I want to bite back.
All right,
It
so
bites
give me
me,
the
I
attack
bite
roll.
you.
Give me the attack roll. Yeah, you can definitely do it.
Oh, Ace. He's not
tries.
so good. He's 10.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, he's,
scaled. It's very hard to bite.
yeah, it's scaled, and your ape ferocity doesn't really give you any great biting, so you just kind of bite down on scaly, hard hide.
But
Does it-
dominance has been asserted.
Dominance has certainly been asserted.
Yeah, the big snake is dominant.
Does raging cost an action?
Yes,
It
raging
costs
is an
one.
action. So stand up,
Okay.
rage, and bite is 3.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Ara.
One thing, Mono, make sure to add your temporary health for raging into your character token.
Yes, you do
yes.
get some bonus health. If you want to use your
It
red
is-
circle to track that above the token, not worry about your character sheet, you can certainly do that. Because if you select your token, the 3 circles pop up. I've been using the blue one for your AC and the green for your regular health. So red is free for temp health.
And it's your level plus your con modifier.
What, my total health or current health?
It's a temporary health. You basically get an overshield while you're raging, which you're so mad you get sturdier and you get an extra layer they have to chew through before they really start hurting you. So what's your con modifier?
That would be 3.
So you would get 4 temporary health. I'll put in the red bubble. So next time you get hit, you'll lose that health from the red instead of the green, unless it bleeds over, of course. And you lose it when you end rage anyway. All right, Ara.
Cool.
I am just going to do exactly what I did last time and hope it sticks this time. So we're going to cast Produce Flame at him.
Well, hopefully this fire will work out a little better. And a 21 will hit. 21 will succeed.
So it's 7 damage. Because it
Alright,
gets a +1 to my damage.
You're going to sear this thing for 7 damage, and that's a pretty solid hit. It couldn't take many more blows like that. It's certainly starting to be worn down.
And then
Not quite dead story yet.
My last action, we're going to just go for it and try to use my single action focus spell at a -5.
Okay, and that's just a single little bolt of fire, right? To try and finish him off?
It's just a little bit of elemental.
Yeah, but slinging that to follow up a Produce Flame with all your focus into pulling that incantation together is just going to fling into the trunk of the tree nearby and leave a little scorch mark. All right. Viper Man. Viper's confused by Zerg and Lizard Man because you're both doing things that aren't hurting it at all. And it's
But the other people.
but it's not intelligent, but you're clearly not hurting it, nor are you really being worn down. Meanwhile, fucking lightning is flying at this shitty gnome over here. So, Viper's
I'll
a moving.
take my attack too.
That will give you an attack of opportunity, yes. Viper's heading to the lightning rod.
Alright, so I attack for 24.
24 will hit.
He takes another 7.
And with that, you actually bring it down.
Yes!
As it
Yes, Selwyn, I've got you.
Oh, thank you.
as it goes to move away from you, trying to just slither past towards Selwyn, what do you do to it?
Okay, so as it moves by, it's not even like looking out for me at all. It's just headed straight for Selwyn, and so it lowers its head a bit, and its mouth is already like open to strike at Selwyn, and I grab the side of its jaw and just pull out, and it just like tears its head, and it just falls down, and it just collapses.
Okay.
That's gnarly.
Well, he's certainly dead. Selwyn, that brings us back around to you. As you see this
move up to here
fate
and-
move towards you for a brief moment.
I'll breathe a sigh of relief first of all. Give a big thumbs up to Lizard.
I'll thumbs back and just gore is just like
Yeah.
ripping down my
Hanging
I'm
arm.
like
from his
covered in
hands.
blood. It's fine. I'm in red clothes anyway.
Oh, nice.
I'll cast Electric Arc on the snake.
And with possibly one final blast of lightning, if he doesn't critically succeed, he's pretty hurt. He is gonna fail, even.
You will take 5 damage.
And what do you do to finish the fight here, Selwyn?
I make grilled snake, essentially. Charge up the lightning bolt, fling it out as the blood is still spraying from the big snake's head onto me. And I cook myself some snake meat.
And as this tiny reptile is just blasted, fried, back in the underbrush around these trees, the sounds of battle here and the hissing around you finally fall silent as the last snake is defeated. Standing shoulder to shoulder, well, shoulder to waist, with Zerg, who has taken a few blows, but is looking phenomenally well in his massive ape
For being
form.
bitten like 45
Yeah,
times.
as the rage starts to fade, as he can no longer see any foes before him. We'll take our break right there. We'll wrap it for a moment. Everyone
I'll
can
high
go
five
pee,
Zerg if I can.
refill
As high as I
some,
can go.
refill some beverages, get a smoke, if that's your inclination, before we deal with the aftermath of this. And I mean, this is still just more snakes. We're really no closer to finding the source of all of this. But this does appear to, this is a light path, a little footpath that leads back into the trees here, deeper towards the southern bend of the creek. And this isn't something you guys have ever used. This isn't something that the roustabouts have bothered with for wood. This has just been here. But with all of these snakes rustled together to guard it, maybe it leads to answers. We'll find out. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We resume our fucking shit show here. You know what I should do were I a smart man? I should run ads while we're taking our midstream break, not to like get the money so that everybody who joins afterward for the next like 2 hours, I think it's almost the whole rest of the cast doesn't get the pre-rolls. You know, like I started doing with my regular show, but have not translated literally at all to this Pathfinder show. I'm going to start doing that, just so people don't get pre-rolls, because pre-rolls are so absurdly long. But, welcome back, Mono. Okay, awesome. Now you're good. All right, so we We got everybody back now for serious. We have just defeated a fucking coven of snakes that were cowering in the tree line here. One massive viper and 2 smaller ones, now all laying defeated. With Zerg a bit worse for wear. Certainly took some damage in that battle, but surprisingly okay given the situation you wound up in. Little,
Where Arbus, I'll take care of it. And I grab the snake and I bring it back to like the fire circle, and I'm like, should skin this and we can maybe put it up somewhere for some decoration.
So you just grab it and just haul it back up by the campfire and unceremoniously, I imagine, dump it on the ground. All right, are we happy now? Just drags it away from the group.
I did tell them we should skin it so that we can have some more decorations. There's never too many decorations around the circus.
Oh,
as he drags us back over to the campfire, like, is everyone going back there?
No,
this is a massive, several 100-pound creature. Like, it's a.
Man,
Mr. Mighty, would you like me to take a look at your wounds?
if we have time, I'd like to take 10 minutes to kind of, refocus. Because Ara is losing a lot of focus.
A thing that would be probably a good idea for everyone to do. As you move back towards the campfire, nurse your wounds for a moment, figure out how you're gonna skin this giant fucking snake bastard.
With a knife.
You got a bit of luck.
I guess I'll juggle for a bit.
By this point, most of the circus, even most of the sideshow, other than the remaining roustabouts who just have work that has to be done, have made their way over around this campfire. Tamley and Juliessa have started playing, and they're not amazing, but they're serviceable, and it is helping. It is starting to bring the mood up a little bit, at least, as everyone gasps in shock as Lizardman hauls both an impressively huge snake and an impressively fucking huge snake to haul himself alone, because nobody's helping him. In fact, Lizardman, make me an athletics check.
Okay. I am incredibly strong. Thank you very much. 13.
You would have some difficulty getting it any further than this, just by its sheer fucking bulk. Trying to get it around the attachments of the wagons and everything, you kind of get a little stuck right about here on the southern side of the campfire, in between both of Mordane's 2 wagons.
Listen, as long as you guys can see the snake, maybe you can skin it. We'll be good to go.
Snake meat is delicious too, I'm here.
Quite. We can use the meat too.
Tulip. Well, never tried it myself. Feels a bit odd, given my choice of profession, Mr. Tickles, but can't see the thing going to waste.
I tried to talk him down, so you know.
The
He wouldn't
professor kind of looks at you. Arbus, if there's absolutely anything that I'm confident in with you, it's you would not allow harm to come to any animal without trying certainly every other avenue possible, even some others would deem insane.
And I'll look at the guy still laying next to me on the ground, being nearly died from a snake bite. Look at the snake.
At this point, they've like put a little pillow under his head and trying to blanket up over him, but he is still unconscious. It's been like 2 minutes.
And I'll look back at the snake and just smash its skull in with the heel of my
Didn't you decapitate the snake?
Huh?
You ripped the
Didn't you
jaw off
decapitate
of
it?
the snake.
I
right.
ripped the lower jaw off.
All right.
So,
I'd like to spend whatever activity we're doing here to try to lift the spirits of the circus members.
okay. Do you have like perform, or what is your thought?
I do
here?
have perform, and I have a +2 comedy, but I don't think this would be comedy. This would be a normal
The
performance.
darkest humor.
Yeah.
All right. So as Arabus tries to sit Zerg down to tend to his wounds, and Ara tries to kind of refocus himself, you're gonna step up and you're gonna try to join in with Juliessa and Tamiri here. And do you have an instrument or?
No, I'll just do an oratory. I have a little
Okay.
thing I've written for it.
Sure.
Oh.
Lizard Man, while everyone kind of rests for a minute to recuperate from this battle, what do you want to do?
I'm trying to help the people skin the snake. Well, I guess we don't have to skin the snake now. We can
Just
do that
leave this
later.
giant dead
Plenty of
snake
time.
heaped all over Mordane's wagon. Just
Um,
kind of bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, I don't have a medicine kit, so I can't really help. But I'd probably just keep watch.
Fair
Make sure
enough.
nothing else comes around.
Yeah, you've here you have Mordane's 2 wagons as well as the Ringmaster's wagon. Actually, would be this one on the right. That was Myron's dead halls. Well, was definitely the operative word.
Yeah, so I'll just keep watch.
So Zerg, are you gonna let Arabus sit you down and look at your assorted bites? The ones from the giant viper looking like you've been stabbed, like shanked.
Yes, have a look at my wounds. Didn't hurt much, really. His flesh wound is nasty, but you can fix. You can fix. You're very good.
All right.
They look pretty bad, but
It's fine.
I'm glad they don't hurt you as well. That's
Nothing hurts, Zerg.
Okay, well,
You'd like to dance, huh? You big dancer.
I mean, well, it's part of the act, yes.
You're
Sure.
very good. You're very good dancer. I like these.
Well, I appreciate it. I enjoy your battles with the lizard man. Very enjoyable.
Yes, battle's very good. Zerg takes a little look around. This dancing could be good for combat. You teach me sometime some moves.
I mean, sure. I mean, anytime you want to take a look, it's fine with me.
Yes, very good. Very, very
Can
good.
you-
Very good.
Can you show me maybe? I know that the Zerg is the mightiest, sure, but I think maybe
Yes.
Arabus might be the mightiest. I want to.
We see how you do, huh?
I can throw lizard too.
I show you little something, you show me little something. Is
Okay, this sounds great. We do that.
all right. You
So
fix
you-
me up first, then.
As you
Sure.
make these plans, yeah, give me a medicine check there, Arabus, and we'll see how well you're able to patch up Zerg.
Oh, that was a tease. So that's
Oh.
That's a hard tweeze. With a 12, this is kind of difficult because he doesn't have any massive injuries. There's no poison or anything you're treating here. There's no massive open cuts. He's
He's barely injured.
Yeah, it's little puncture wounds. The surface level, it's very little. And you strap some cloth over it to just make sure that these larger bites don't really bleed too much. Put some compression and kind of staunch it, but you're not able to do much for him, really. And that's going to fail.
Oh no.
It's okay. You try again later. I'll get better. It's fine.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mighty. I tried.
So,
It's okay.
Ara, what are you doing to regain your focus over here?
I'm actually just. It's kind of trying to think of a way to describe it. I'm sitting in the ground. I'm staring in the water. And I'm just kind of mumbling to myself, almost as I'm telling a story to myself in a very low breath, just remembering back to when I was still just a spirit.
That's not terrifying at all, tiny wooden sentient doll.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, distracting from that, Selwyn is trying
Yes.
to boost the
Right.
party's
I guess
spirits
I'd
here.
grab a loot, but it's mainly through the voice.
Tamari'd hand you one. So you want to make me a perform check?
I do, but I do have
Voice
something to
crack,
go with
because
it.
I'm 12. Okay.
I'll take the loot, step up on like a high ground because I'm really small, and string a note. Everyone here, listen to I. The snake is dead. We didn't die. A giant toppled. A hit and a miss. A jaw taken care of, courtesy of Liz. we will all be all right tonight. Don't be afraid. Your foes leave our side, and then I'll make my performance.
I mean, is
Oh,
that just
this
a
on
nat
break.
20?
What a that's definitely looks like a 14 on the die. What was he got?
I
What's your
got
total?
20. Yeah, sorry.
20 will absolutely succeed. Selwyn, surprising everyone with her competence in playing a lute, takes Tamiri's play, starts a little bit, and then stops and retunes it because they didn't exactly do that correctly, and tells this brief tale, this song, this bard's performance that she just made up in the minute since she's walked over here, and the aftermath, the battle just flying through her head in an instant comes together as easy as normal conversation. And that is absolutely impressive. That's going to get like a rousing cheer out of your compatriots here before you hand the lute back over to Tamiri. So she just kind of looks up at you. Wow. Didn't know you could play, Selwyn. I could do well to learn from you.
Me neither. Well, learn something every day, right?
What? You
What?
can't expect me to believe you just that's your first time touching a lute.
Oh, got at least something mystery, and I'll walk off.
Oh wow. Such a troll.
So, the group of you, after your brief rest there, leaving the growing music and certainly growing spirits of your circus friends around the campfire here, you're heading where to do what? What are your plans now?
Well, we saw the little clearing that left up further into the woods, right?
You did indeed, and you were something like disabouts or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to manipulate that as you see fit. I feel like it was.
Bye.
Ara's
I
following
know
from
that
a.
feeling. I
from
gotcha.
a-
I gotcha.
Ara! You can't spell Dara without Ara! Leading from the other room, making absolutely certain nothing horrible is going to happen, and just continuing his detection of magic. As the rest of you make your way down this little footpath here on the southern end to see where this could lead in the trees up and why it's cleared out. And as you proceed, this footpath kind of turns around a corner a bit, narrowing out somewhat between the trees here, leading towards the river, where it opens a little bit into a further clearing. And even from this distance, you can see, well, it's certainly something. There's a pack, a leather pack, leaning against what looks like a small bed of leaves with a simple sheet laid over the top of it. Somebody camped here. And as you're looking that way, Lizard Man, since you are searching, do you want to make me a perception check?
That is a 17.
And with a 17, you see there's a small sigil of some kind hanging off of the side of that pack. But as you're looking forward, distracted, you miss the tripwire laid across the path directly in front of you. As you step on it, it releases a branch that is the simplest trap in the universe. A branch that has been drawn back around the trunk of a tree, tied tight with this wire, and as you step and it snaps, it lashes out into your chest. What is your AC? It does still have to hit you.
18.
It's gonna clank off of your armor. The good thing you wear this scale mail over your regular scales, because as this thing thwacks into you, it's like a fairly thin, bendy branch. It doesn't hit with a ton of force, but as it kind of settles, you can see it's been studded with a variety of bright green thorns, not part of the tree, that have been attached to this branch to make it far more deadly. They even leave droplets of an almost steaming liquid where they contact the metal of your armor.
Step back, probably. Well, someone who did not want us here.
Maybe it was put there by accident.
Yes.
Yes, accidental
I
wire
agree.
going to kill you. Yes, very accidental.
Yeah, it
What's
happens
wrong
all
with
the
you?
time.
So as you're
Suggestion.
discussing this,
I don't
you
think
see
it was an accident, though.
you see a creature crawl out of the river in front of you. What
Oh, God.
looks like a very
Oh!
tiny blue demon with almost webbing, fins attached to his arms where maybe wings should be. He crawls out of the river with his arms full of mossy river rocks heaped up in front of his face as he totters over towards the bag laying against the small spread. He doesn't see you past this pile of stones blocking his own vision.
Should have moved a bit
Is the-
closer.
Oh, it's
Is
ugly.
the bed like the same size as the imp, or is it like a person-sized bed?
It's a little bigger than the imp, but it's certainly too small for like you or Zerg.
Hmm.
I'll sneak up a bit on it.
Okay, so you're
What?
sneaking
Yeah.
and keep into the underbrush here. You move. You can move as forward as you want. Really, you can.
Yeah.
You
Just
can begin moving
looking
there.
closer.
And as
Guess
you
I'll
look,
step behind a tree.
it tumbles this big heap of mossy stones to the ground where you can see it. It pretty much has exactly this look on its face. Like, it's very amused with itself as it starts taking these rocks and cramming them into the pack. Still dripping from the stream.
I'll look to the rest and look at shrug, kinda.
Have I ever seen
Lizard
anything
Man,
like this?
searching. Give me another perception check.
14.
Looking through here, this bed doesn't look like it's sized for this small creature, and it definitely doesn't look like it's an entirely natural, whatever it is. It doesn't appear to, like the way its body is constructed, to appear to follow standard, like biological laws. It looks like it's got a face, but as its mouth is open and a wide grin, it doesn't look like it goes anywhere. It doesn't go to a throat or anything. Does anybody does anybody want to try to identify this? You can switch your exploration action to recall knowledge and stop scouting or searching or detecting magic or whatever to try to focus and figure out what you know about these things. You can switch your exploration actions at absolutely any time. It would be an Arcana or a Nature check.
I'll Arcana.
Okay, so you'll trying to peer out a little bit further, not hiding yourself as much.
Yeah. I got a 12.
With a 12, you know enough to know this thing looks like it's an elemental, not a living. Well, I mean, elementals are kind of living. It's weird in Pathfinder, but not a natural creature, certainly. And around then, you would see it get the last of its load into this bag. And its load's not particularly large. It can't carry a ton. And totter back off into the water, dipping back below the surface.
Well, I'm going to go catch it. I'm going to go run after it.
So, as Zerg rushes forward, what is everybody else's response?
I will follow Zerg.
I'll walk out since he's going for it. I'll call out greetings in every knowledge I know, every language I know,
I'm
Which
gonna
is-
go to its bag.
which is common, gnomish, sylvan, draconic, elven, and undercommon.
I'm gonna guess Aquin's not one of them.
It is not one of them, no.
Our other bag is in front of someone, so you can be moving toward it. Lizard, Arvis,
I was just gonna follow Zerg.
moving up. Arvis,
I am staring up at the sky, looking at the clouds to see if there's any storm of brewing. Just aloof.
does not look like it at the moment, but as you get right, as you move forward, Zerg just striding up into this clearing. As this little creature goes to descend back into the river, it hears you crunching up behind it and, spooked to shit, jumps, literally throwing its hands in the air as it turns around with a panicked look on its face and sees the group of you approaching and lets out a literal just, ah! Ah! And shakes its head and starts to rush out of the river towards you, trying to chase you off. So, I'm gonna need some initiative.
Oh my god.
Water baby is upsetting.
Oh, there we go.
Let me add water baby. And as he squeaks his displeasure here, he gestures towards the river, where you see another one pop its head up out of the water, like a gopher, looking over towards the group of you.
like a meerkat just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well then.
Well then.
That's why
That's getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Someone.
Someone.
All right, so you did roll a perception for initiative, right, someone? Because you were
I
not
did.
sneaking at
Yes.
the moment. Okay. So first dude, I got spicy initiatives today, boys. I'm very sorry. I got very spicy initiatives today. You got some spicy ones too, though. Arbus Lizardman, who wants to go first?
I'll go first since if I'm close.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so Ara, you are the first to react here. These things look like they have responded with hostility to being discovered amidst whatever the hell they were doing, collecting rocks, and they seem upset.
It's a pleasurable pastime.
So this is a good time to remind, once you're in combat, anybody can take one action to attempt to recall knowledge about a creature. For these ones, it's Arcana or Nature, and that is a secret check. I roll that, not you. And the reason is because if you critically fail, you can actually misidentify what they are,
Ah, wow.
which is hilarious every time it
Yeah.
happens.
I want to try to recall what little knowledge I have.
Okay, so what are you using Nature or Arcana, and what is your modifier?
On nature, and it's 5.
Plus a 5. Dang it, I wanted to critically fail because it'd be funny. But I did not. These are Mephits. Mephits are basically the smallest, piddliest variety of elemental. And while they look like tiny demons, they are in fact elementals. They are from the plane of water. But Mephits of all different kinds of elementals are some of the ones that are the most native to the material plane, most commonly found here. They are surprisingly fast given their tiny size, and those little flappy fins they have do function as wings, and they can fly. The primary things you know about water Mephits are that while their body is submerged, they are almost impossible to kill through conventional means because they're water elementals. The water itself will continually heal them. And that they can spew this water in a cone at aggressors, damaging everyone if they feel threatened.
With water?
It is water, but it is water that they can adapt it. Like, it is their physiology. They are made of water. They adapt it to be so acidic that it burns.
I see.
So were you clustered together, they would be able to breathe on all of you.
I just put myself way
Good thing
back
we're
at
not
camp.
clustered together.
Good
back
thing
to
we're
camp.
not doing that. So, what do you tell your party real quick? That's what you know. That's what you recall, and then you can get a brief shout out to your team.
They're elementals. So yay, they're natural to the plane, and they have a thing where they spray water at you, and it hurts a lot. Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh, and
Not
they're
like
hard to
spread
kill on
out
water.
or don't give
Yeah,
up.
so we might need to,
Okay. That feels
Not
like
really.
pertinent information, sure. Just,
Run out!
I'm not smart.
oh, fair. I'm just because you guys are, I know a lot of you are real new to second edition, and I don't want to step on your toes role playing or anything, but you do you. Sorry.
I have 8 int.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. This is a good point.
Same here, man. We're together in that.
The
Idiot
8 int
friends.
crew,
We're idiot friends.
Wow.
the 8 int crew.
I'm in the
Alright,
higher
so
bracket
that's-
of the party, God.
So that's one action to look at them, focus, try to identify them, and briefly share what you know.
I mean, they're obviously like hostile, not defensive, so
They are hostile, yes.
extremely hostile. Well, Ara's gonna do what Ara does best, and that's go away. I'm gonna back up a little bit. I can back up right there, right?
Yeah, you can back anywhere that, like, what a line of sight lines are drawn is where it gets real thick.
And how far away from me? I can hardly see the grid from here.
So there is a, I can make the grid more visible if that is a problem. And B, there is actually a ruler tool. How's that? Does that help?
Yes.
There's a
There's a
ruler
ruler
tool
tool.
on the left that you can use to measure your distance from anything, from point to
Ah.
point.
Ah. Cool. Ooh.
Did you want to go to 30 feet away?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to demoralize the one that's higher up on the grid than the other one. The one
All right.
closest-
So
closest to
that
the-
is going to take the penalty for you not sharing a language with them,
Okay.
but you can do that. It's a -4.
-4. I'll try. So 15.
You're a terrifying plant. He's frightened. As you yell at him.
The one closest to Zerg.
Oh, the one closest to my mistake.
Yep.
As you,
Yep.
the one that just popped out of the river. As he pops up, he doesn't know what's going on. You yell at him in a language he doesn't understand, but he definitely knows it's threatening, and his eyes get kind of wide, and he sinks a bit further back down into the water, clearly cowed.
Ollie,
Selwyn.
you go back where you came from.
Well, I mean, I rolled a rogue, and as all good rogues will naturally do in this situation, I will cast electric
You're
arc.
such a bitch. I love it. We gotta live the dream that someday Selwyn's gonna go into melee combat, but today is not that day.
Once, I crit twice.
That's true. He came. He just knows he's never gonna top that again. All right, what is their reflex? They are water elementals. They are very
Dexterous
fast.
roller.
They're incredibly dexterous. The bottom one is going to critically succeed, and the top one is going to succeed. Ooh, he almost critically succeeded too.
Well, he takes 3 damage, and I'll move back here. Huh. Hey, Gray.
So
how's it
as
going?
this, the one who's almost fully submerged, the shock dissipates across the surface of the water, doing nothing to him. But the one that hasn't managed to get all the way in the river yet, you see clearly a little bit of a zap, and it burns him a bit. But there's no visible mark left. And then the one who's pretty scared, who has been spooked, is gonna dip his head back below the water, and you see the creek, which normally flowing down to the south, turn back and flow into him. As he pops back up, inflated almost like a balloon, like he's engorged, before spraying a cone of searing acidic water across Zerg and Lizardman. Now, he is frightened, so he can't aim it quite as well in his panic, so the DC is 1 lower. But I need reflex saves from both of you.
Just trying to avoid eye
26.
contact.
Ooh,
20.
natural 20.
13.
Zerg is the strongest man alive. Zerg is not the fastest man alive.
Not afraid of some water.
So, as he sprays this over you, Zerg, you are going to take 10 acid damage at almost blasting you unconscious. And then he is going to sink down below the surface of the water, taking cover under the river. Lizardman, you see this spray, you're on the edge of it, you get out of the way, and you see it literally sear
Ugh.
a good deal of the glistening flesh off the front of Zerg.
How far behind me did the spray get to? Like, how much?
It
did
got
reach
right
out of the
about to
water?
you. It stopped about at you. Looked like it went
Oh,
about
it stopped
15
about
feet.
at me. Okay.
Before it just was a mist.
Well, I think that we should fall back. Fall back. So I'm going to, let's see here. So 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to take out, unwrap. I have a rope around my torso. I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to kind of swing this kind of weird club with this like gnarled hook on the end of it, and try and just like club this lower one.
This one?
And yes, that one.
Okay. The one that's
With
already
my
been
atlas.
zapped a little.
Yes.
This thing is on a real long rope.
Yep.
So you can
Long
can
rope.
fling this out, and you seem to be perfectly effective in using it from 20 feet away.
That's with a
Very
6.
effective at using
Very
it.
effective.
Wow.
That is a critical hit.
Ooh,
God
and
damn.
so,
So,
it's also Oh no, I guess it doesn't. It doesn't.
I don't think you have your critical specialization.
Oh right.
So this
So
thing,
I hit it for 7.
you hit it for 14.
Oh, for 14.
It's a critical hit.
Right.
You bash the life out of this thing, and as it hits, your Atlas hits through it. It's solid, but the creature splashes like it was water. Like you almost obliterate it, splashing down to the river. But it pulses out and pulls itself back together just barely. But it doesn't look like a demon so much as anymore as it does a vaguely humanoid-shaped ball of water that's like waving back and forth, barely holding its form.
Gotcha. And then I am going to move back. I'm going to move back here. And
So for reference, if anyone cares, it's obviously not armed right now, but this is where the pointy branch was.
Right.
oh, gotcha.
So you're like
Perfect.
you're kind of going. I mean, it's just sitting there. It's not gonna reset itself. All right,
Okay, yes.
Arabus.
And that was yes, I pulled it out. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
3
pulled
moves.
out the Atlas, attacked, and moved.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, aware of what's going on now. I was kind of just distracted by the sky. I'm gonna look back up at the sky and just sort of hold my hands up to it, and just start almost speaking in Druidic, so nobody knows what I'm saying. And I'm going to cast heal, but I'm gonna use all 3 actions to do it, so it's like an AOE heal.
Okay,
30
so
feet.
yep, that is going to restore D8 health to the full party because Zerg is just on the edge of that. Let's go, not a 1.
Oh, you gotta say it right before I roll it, man.
Not a 1.
Was not a 1.
The 3.
So Lizardman, Ara, and Zerg, you all recover 3 health.
And I'm almost back to full.
Yeah, that actually almost tops off Lizardman. That's solid. Brings Zerg up to 7. Doing okay here. This southern southern Mephit, as he gets just absolutely clobbered by this Atlas, dives back into the water, and you can see him shoot off at incredible speed down to the south, clearly just fucking fleeing. He's out. He's done. He's had enough.
Howard.
He didn't want any more of this. Which brings us to Zerg! Most
where was
burned
that?
man alive.
Where was that sack of rocks?
It's
Right
probably
next to
right
you.
next to you here.
Excellent. I'm just gonna. Zerg is going to pick up the sack and just throw it at the
Okay.
remaining Mephit.
So you can pick the thing up. It's literally a bag full of rocks. And you just pitch it towards this Mephit. All right, so just make me a ranged attack. And give me 1 second to see how
I don't even
improvised-
have a ranged attack on my thing.
It is.
I didn't figure we'd use one.
Yeah, what is your. You're trained with weapons, right?
Yes.
So you have your proficiency bonus would be 3, and then you get your dexterity modifier.
Okay, so Dex
Right, this
plus 3?
isn't the right. So it'd be plus 4. So you could just roll d20 plus 4.
Ah, yeah. Is that right?
A 14.
So it'd be a
14,
14,
yeah.
right? Yeah, it'd be 3 higher than that, yeah, because your proficiency is 3 more than that. So with a 14, you pitch this bag of rocks into the little creek here, and you definitely slam it near the Mephit. But like you said, you don't even have a thing for this. Zerg's not fantastic at it, and it's unwieldy and large. Rocks are spilling out as it flies. It goes off course, splashes into the creek right next to him.
Was that one action?
So it's 1 to pick it up and 1 to chuck it.
I'm just. I don't even know what Emma
It's
Lentil
not a
is.
deep creek. It's like at the deepest thigh. Like you could just wade into this. It's not a river. I mean, look how wide it is.
Everybody else left me at the front.
Everyone did run away.
Where did everybody go?
What are you doing?
I'll wave you over.
I'm being
Well,
Ara
I'm
waves you
not feeling
over.
So good. I'm not feeling you waving me. It's not good. It's bad. I guess I'll run up. I'll run up to Ara.
It's not good.
I don't even like lentils. Why is it a lentil attacking?
Ara! You're up.
Well, what do I have to lose other than throwing fire at water? Right? Logic.
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? An explosion? Yeah. We're gonna throw a firebolt at him. Maybe.
All right.
If technology will work with me.
Chuck a produce flame out to this mephit that's now taking cover
rolled
beneath the surface of the water.
22.
22's gonna hit him.
Chuck it.
Oh,
Long range.
yeah. So it's 8 damage.
So as it hits, you can definitely tell you are throwing fire at a water elemental. It is
Yes.
definitely resistant to your
Yes.
damage, and with it hiding underneath the river, it does not do as much as it should. But that said, it still does a pretty healthy chunk of damage. You're not barely hitting it or anything. The water it's hiding under for a moment evaporates away, as does part of the outside of its form where it's lurking there.
And for my last action, just wave at it.
Selwyn!
I like to hold until after the
The thing.
me thing, yeah.
Okay, well, this thing feels absolutely no threat from Zerg, and as far as it can tell, everyone is largely chased off. So it's just going to run up on the shore with its hands raised and just and it's going to attempt to demoralize Zerg, just hissing at him.
You fool.
It's going to... What's your will DC?
Will they say?
The will save modifier plus 10.
That would be. Is that the E?
It's the number,
Six.
just the number, the 6. So it'll be 16.
16.
E means you're an expert.
Ah.
Took me a while to figure out that's how this sheet indicates that. 16? This is a surprisingly tiny little creature after it just burned off a lot of your fresh, but you're going to stay strong. You got a character to uphold. You can't let the party see your weakness. He was one off of him making you frightened. One off.
Oh boy.
Now he's going to turn to Ara, who's throwing fire at the water, and do the same to him, just waving his hands and hissing. What is your will modifier? A roll DC.
It is 17.
You're not even remotely terrified. Not even. You got a -1. You're not even remotely
I worry
frightened
about
of
him.
this creature. You are amused by this thing's antics. Selwyn, then.
I will move up to here, and I'm going to Twin Fate.
There
Alright.
it is.
He did it. He's in melee.
Yep. First one is a 17.
A 17 is going to hit.
All right, I hit him for 7 damage, and then this is
Alright.
the sneak attack. This is a 16.
A 16 is going to hit. That's exact lethal.
Oh boy.
And it's an additional d6 because it's on a sneak attack.
So it's 7, and then it's 6.
It's 2.
And that's exactly how much health he has left. What do you do as you rush up to this elemental?
That's Creed.
So I rush up. I see this thing going like, and it's clearly not paying attention. So I take out my short swords, move up behind it, jam the first short sword into the back, and slit its throat with the second one.
Jeez.
And as you cut across its throat, I mean, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't have blood, but you cut and it almost falls apart. Like it just collapses in a deluge of water that made up its body, soaking the ground around it as it just falls. He got ditched by his buddy, and then he got stabbed to death.
You definitely got stabbed to death.
That's like
I'm gonna
being
walk into the river and grab that backpack.
I was supposed to say I want that bag, but I can't get
So you
I'll
you
add
move up
Tarvis.
and you move up and you pull the bag out of the creek here. I mean, it's still got a bunch of rocks in it. The current's not going to carry it anywhere. It's exactly right there. So you pull it out. It's a very simple leather pack, and it's a emblazoned with a patch. It's a green patch of... Wait 1 second, because I don't want to misdescribe this one, because this one is sort of relevant. A green patch of a curving leaf with a bit of dew formed on its tip. Inside it are a bunch of rocks. Like, this backpack at this point is 2 bulk of rocks. So it is 3 bulk of backpack. It's incredibly heavy. The fact that that's probably why it was so hard for Zerg to throw.
It's not so heavy.
Dump everything out on the shore and see if there's anything of interest inside?
Yeah, as you just spill all the contents of this backpack across the ground, you get, again, just a shitload of rocks. They put a lot of rocks in here. But at the bottom, kind of crunched, mashed, and now a bit soaked, is what looks like a skin rolled up as a scroll and bound with some twine.
Huh.
Unrolling that, you find
Handed it to Selwyn.
handing it to Selwyn, who unrolls it, I assume.
I unroll it.
You find what looks like it's actually a very detailed map of Aberton and the surrounding area. There are some notations taken in a scrawling hand around various parts on the outside of it, but most of it around the northeastern corner where your circus ground is, where you are right now. Noting details on the movements of your roustabouts when you're active, who goes where, who's in what wagon, denoting the ringmaster's wagon, and paying particular detail to his movements throughout the day, and it's unsettlingly accurate.
Yikes.
Well, it's
There are
clearly
a couple other places in town, an orchard and the local grain mill, that are both circled as well, but with no real further detail. Ara, as the backpack comes out of the water and opens, you would detect magic as well, as a couple just loose handfuls worth of nuts sprawls out of the bag, largely crushed by the rocks, as well as a token, a tiny icon that looks like it's a basic, simple feather with some kind of a rune, a sigil on it, and the tip of it seeming to be dipped in gold. But it's not a feather; it's a token of a feather. It's solid. Yeah. It's stone or metal of some kind.
Pick it up and hold it up in this. Yeah, I'm just kind of examining it.
Do you have a need, Ara?
Does anyone know what this is?
I can check for you.
I can find out tomorrow, but not now.
Give me a moment. Just thing. Read aura. Let me hold it in my hands and try to read it.
Yep. As Ara hands this over to you, it would glow under your magic with a very faint black aura of conjuration. This tiny feather token is in fact magical. Nothing else about the goods that have come out of the bag, nor the bag itself, appear to be. Oh, I'm sorry. I have made the boomerest mistake ever. I literally did not scroll down far enough on the PDF. There is also a small claw talisman that is also magical. I'm good.
I have both of them in my hands.
I'm smart. I mean, they would have been the 2 things that stand out from the bag.
Right.
Yep. Well,
so they both the feather glows with a faint black conjurative aura, and the claw, a fairly large claw set in an iron clasp with a bit of chain a few inches dangling off of it, glows the red of evocation. Now, identifying items in 2nd edition takes some time. You can't do it immediately. It actually is going to take you 10 minutes to attempt to identify one single item. It's spellcraft checks and Baylor looking at a thing for 2 seconds and just knowing what it is a thing of the past now. Though there are some general and skill feats you can take to reduce that. It's going to take you 10 minutes apiece to figure out what these are. Of course, multiple people can try. You don't have to have your own magic or read aura to attempt to identify them. You just have to understand magic and spend time studying it.
So if we had 20 minutes, one of us could do 2.
Yes, if you had 20 minutes, one person could try to identify both.
Well, I would probably steal Arbus, as she's busy doing like important stuff. I would steal her medicine kit and, Zeg, you look horrible. All of your hair on your chest is gone, but otherwise you look fine. And I would get, and I would put some like salve down the front of him and try and make a medicine check.
So you sitting down, you sitting him down, Zerg, you chilling? Yeah, you got a little burn.
Yes, I know I don't look as good without all the hair, but people get a little concerned with the angry orc man. You've got to be less angry, less hairy. Social norms, huh?
I don't know if the medicine check can regrow your chest hair. But
that's fine. What about my wounds?
22 regrows all the chest hair, which is the only thing that's wrong with him. I'll have you know.
It'll certainly restore 2d8 chest hairs.
Okay, 2d8.
That's not that many chest hairs.
6.
6 chest hairs.
Well, Zerg, you get 6 health back. Oh, wait, no, he's immune for an hour. You can't treat him right now.
Okay.
You'd have to wait an hour, right, because you've been treated. Arbus treated you earlier. When you have your wound, when you are medically treated, like you do all you can. That was my bad. You are actually immune to treat wounds for an hour.
Oh, even if it's a different
You
person?
now can only be healed magically, or by battle medicine, because battle medicine is a separate thing. But that battle medicine is per person. Treat wounds is anyone who treats you, you're immune for an hour. So there's actually nothing further medically that can be done right now.
Oh, so I can't battle medicine outside of battle?
Oh, was that a battle medicine?
Well, no, but it could have been.
I can.
You don't have battle medicine.
Oh, that's
she
right.
could have.
I thought it's my other character. Yeah.
Yeah, if you had battle medicine, you could battle medicine him, but you can't do the 10-minute treat wounds action right now. He's already been treated.
Get this self off of me. I'm fine. I feel fine. It's
I can
barely
battle
look
medicine.
at you. Barely look at you anymore.
As you get this salve off it, Arvis just slaps another handful of it on your chest.
Put the salve back on and only, and then I blow all kinds of weird flowers in his face.
Give me a medicine check, Arvis.
First, everybody try and grab my meat. Now you all want to touch my chest. What is happening?
You're a very attractive half orc, so you just gotta get used to it.
Oh my goodness.
I guess this isn't even a corpse. This thing is just gone. 20 succeeds. He gets 2d8 health back.
All right.
So yeah, Lizard Man takes your medicine kit, tries to treat him, realizes he can't do anything, and then Arvis just very quickly heals him for 12!
Chest hairs.
This is how you do it, Lizard.
That's a good roll.
What a savage.
That's a fantastic roll. So that only takes, that's like a few seconds. That's not a long rest or anything. Meanwhile, you guys are hearing the sounds of music coming back from the campfire. Markedly stronger now. You hear flutes have joined in from somewhere, apparently. It almost sounds like they got a freaking band together. Apparently, Selwyn, you've done a great job of raising those spirits.
Thank you. I think I know what we're dealing with here, at least the person. Not the motive. But given the drawing and what we've learned so far about the bear being spoken to directly and the snakes given their locations, it seems like we're dealing with someone who is A, someone who can talk to animals, so most likely a druid, and B, very sneaky. Obviously spent a long time marking our comings and goings so that they were able to come in unbeknownst, cut up the ropes, sabotage the axe, and get the ringmaster alone and sicking the snakes on him. Why they did this is not completely clear to me. Assuming it's the Celestial Menagerie coming back to haunt us, they certainly had a big plan. I think once we're clear of the circus grounds and have taken a good long rest, I think we should look into the rest of the markings here. Outside of that, the two items we found, I have no idea what the first item is. Ara, you said you detected conjuration magic on one, on the filler. Oh no, Erebus said she read the aura and found the conjuration magic.
Conjuration and evocation on the other one.
So I believe that this sack was left behind because they're already done, and they possibly used the leaf to conjure the water spirits. I'm not completely certain on that, but it seems like these creatures were not the original possessors of this sack, and given it's been left here and the trap was still here, they weren't disturbed and decided to leave. That's the going theory so far for me, anyway.
Or the
What?
person
I can just see
hasn't left
Selwyn with a big old poster board and a bunch of red twine.
Just pinned up. Aura walks by. I need this one. I have no idea what's happening, but I want to stare long and hard at these tokens. So,
Now, by the sound of things, everything seems to be going fine at the campfire for now. You could rest and attempt to identify them. You could wait 10. You could spend 10 minutes trying to divine their natures.
yeah. If there's nothing else more pressing to do, so.
You do one, I do one.
All
You
right,
made your
can
way
do
to the
it.
camp here. There's no clear place where this proceeds further than this. This little bed of leaves, the sheet drawn over it, and this now soaked sack with the map and everything, and it seems to be the end of this small trail. And what that trap was attempting to defend, along with these two mephits, perhaps. But yet, this doesn't appear to go anywhere else. This is where it ends.
Yeah, so if Erebus wants to attempt the feather token, I can do the claw.
So
Why
everyone's
do I
gonna.
have to do the feather token? Why can't I do the claw?
Because I like the claw. Actually, I like
Okay.
both of them, but
That's fine then.
So we all,
Sorry.
Aramis and Ara sit down to try and suss out what these icons are, while Selwyn is explaining her theories to Lizard Man and Zerg. What are you three doing? They clearly take a seat and start trying to suss out the magical properties of these, turning these two little icons over in their hands, casting minor cantrips on them.
staring at it, muttering to
Wizard shit's
myself.
happening.
Do you have any other suggestions or ideas? Or is everyone fine to go with what I've suggested?
I'm just surprised that it seems like maybe they haven't gotten back here to cover the tracks. If they researched this out so well and they have this detailed map, surprised they didn't take it with them. They may not have come back
No.
yet.
Why leave the evidence?
Yeah.
Are we all aware of what was on the map? Has that been?
Yeah, the map's just the map's all right here. You guys can all see
Yeah.
this. Selwyn's set it open in front of everybody as she's explaining.
Yeah, I
what
want to
she
show it
thinks.
to everyone.
So everyone's
Yeah.
fully aware of what's on the map.
What is the circle on the places? What is this? Is a circle?
I'll explain the circles.
What do you
Well, we don't
explain
know
about the
what the-
circles?
Um,
There's
We
just
don't know.
circles on an
Well,
orchard and the town's
Right,
mill.
just
There's no
um,
labeling or anything.
yeah, just the circles around the orchard and the mill.
Well, I'm not a magician or a map man or anything like this, but possibly if we go to the circle, we see what happened there. Is good? Is not good.
Yes, that was my thoughts as well, Sark. Very local.
Yes. So I go to both circles and everybody stay here because I am strongest and I don't need you all. This is okay.
We need to clear out the grounds first, and then we can discuss where we go from
Okay,
there.
okay. Well,
Yes.
then we'll figure it out from there.
Ah.
It's a good idea.
Cool.
So,
Blindness
Arabis,
then.
if you are trying to identify these things, you can use whatever your magical tradition skill is. So I imagine it's probably nature for both of you,
Yeah.
for your primal magic to identify these, because
Yeah.
items don't have any intrinsic tradition. So these are also secrets because you can certainly misidentify items as well. So we'll start with Ara with the claw. What is your nature modifier?
5.
Okie dokie. 5. So sitting down here for 10 minutes as you slowly draw the evocation magic out of this, and suss out what it does. This is a small talisman. Talismans are a pretty new mechanic in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which are... Do you know how wizards get to have scrolls and all this cool consumable shit, and marshals don't get fucking anything? Talismans are the answer to that. Talismans are marshals' cool consumable shit. You can attach a talisman and attune it to a weapon, and then you can use it for whatever its effect is, and then it burns away. And in a flash of magic, it's consumed. The Owlbear Claw, when affixed to a weapon... I just realized we have 2 natural attackers in the group who can't use talismans. When affixed to a weapon, not your hands.
I mean, I can.
That's true. You can put it on your Ucklease. And it actually could have been great in that last situation. It's activated as a free action when you crit an attack. And it allows you to gain your weapon's critical specialization effect. Weapons all have different critical specialization effects. For short swords, I believe it deals bleed damage. If Ucklease is in clubs, I believe it knocks them prone. You'd have to look up what your weapon category is and what its critical specialization is. But whenever you crit, you can choose to consume the talisman to also do your critical specialization effect and make your crit even more meaty. Meanwhile, the other thing... Aribus, what is your nature modifier?
7.
Ooh, getting fancy up in here.
7.
Ooh, nice.
You can tell that the conjurative magic in this doesn't summon anything in particular so much as it transforms the token itself into something in a one-time effect, but you cannot divine exactly what or how.
Well, I walk over to someone, and I hand her the owlbear claw and say, put this on a weapon. And then I'll walk away.
I'll grab it and put it on my sword. And before you walk away, what does it do?
I look at him. I forget. But keep walking.
Oh, no.
This is good, though.
So, you have no idea what this thing is at all, right?
Nope.
Selwyn, you just tie it to your sword?
I'll trust him.
All right, so you tie this owlbear talisman onto your short sword somewhere, and hanging from a handle as it is now dangling
Looks
like
cool.
like a weapon charm in a game with loot boxes off of the bottom of your short sword. Can you believe Paizo added loot boxes in 2nd edition?
Yeah, disgusting.
Absolute trash. Aribus, around this time, you realize that it's going to take you significantly more time to try and figure out what this feather token does. Now, unlike 1st edition, you can simply continue to retry identifying things as long as you don't critically... Actually, let me double check before I'm wrong on that. Identify magic, 2E. I believe it's critical failures that lock. Oh, no. If you fail, you actually can't try again for another day. You would need to sleep on it. Critical fail is misidentify. So you have sussed out all you can of this thing's magic.
Selwyn, it turns into something.
Oh,
I'll try tomorrow again, maybe.
I love how we're
Have
just
you
handing
tried the other
everything
one
to
too?
Selwyn.
Sorry?
I like how we're handing everything to Selwyn.
Yeah,
know,
so
right?
it's just like getting handed
I feel like I've become the party mom, and
I'll
I'm just here.
I'll walk over. Can I hold that?
Sure. Well,
I take the token back.
Arbis, can you see if you can see what the the claw does? I don't think Aura could get anything out of it.
I think Aaron... I mean, he told me to put it on. I think he knew.
He said he didn't know.
Well, he forgot.
Or does that make a difference?
It does. Forgetting means you knew at one point, and
You want me to look at it, Selwyn?
Sure. I'll take it off and hand it to.
She's still just
I'll
like
be right
sitting,
back.
still sitting in the dirt on the riverbank. And she's just like, give it. And just turns around back towards the river and starts playing with the owlbear claw.
I guess
And
next to her.
it's gonna take another 10 minutes. You're still, so you guys, you're gonna hang out this river for 20 minutes now. I mean, you hear the music in the background. Everything's apparently going fine. There's been no screaming or panic. And you're gonna sit down for another 10 minutes and attempt to identify more items. So we'll start with Ara again, attempting to identify this token. Ara, this is in fact a feather token, and with a command, it will transform into a holly bush that fills a whole square. You throw it at the ground with a word, and it poofs into a shrubbery. It's sturdy enough to provide cover. It also will have some bright red berries, and while you know that holly berries would normally kill you, these berries are infused with beneficial magic, and you can consume them to restore hit points.
I get a whole bush of good berry?
But it's pretty much a bush of good berries. But it's a one-use thing, and the berries do not persist when taken off of the bush. Their magic fades near instantly. You have to take them and eat them. You can't bring the berries with you.
Yeah.
Arabis. Arabis critically succeeds to identify the owlbear claw, which unfortunately the owlbear claw is simple enough that doesn't tell you anything else. What I should have done, I should have told you.
I figured it out.
I should have told you now that when you get a crit, you get your critical specialization effect. And what I should have told you is it's a talisman that will activate an additional effect when you critically hit. Because normal successes do not tell you everything it does. You both critically succeeded on those 2 rolls, actually.
Oh,
Wow! Look at us
Damn.
taking the extra time.
That was some big dice for you guys.
The extra mile. I would hand it back to Selwyn and impart all that.
oh, thanks.
Now, you would also know that to draw the magic out of this talisman, it doesn't just have to be tied onto a weapon. It has to be attuned in a process that takes about 10 minutes. So while it was dangling like a Lucky Charm off your sword, it was literally doing nothing. You have to attune it to a sword.
Should we do it later? I think we've sat here for a while, right?
You've been here for like 20 minutes now, sussing over the contents of the pack, poring over the map for any other kind of information. Zerg's probably oozing still.
Yeah, it's a little bit. He's fine.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Welcome to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Everything takes 10 minutes. But on the one hand, I actually like this a lot because it's a great way to prevent that we went adventuring for 5 minutes and now we're out of resources, so we're going to go sleep for the rest of the day and also the night. Because you actually have to spend time exploring. Like, you've been exploring the circus grounds for nearly an hour now. Like, time is passing. It's not just a 5-second adventure like it kind of used to be. I like it. It just definitely takes some adjusting.
I think it's very good. I like it a lot.
So.
On the map, were there any other points of interest on the?
Yeah, we're
on the circus?
missing.
No, there were the circled orchard and the circled mill, as well as other notes about the movements of Thunder specifically, but a lot of the circus in general, when you were active, what you were doing. Arabis, I think you, Shem, you probably already know this, but I'm not going to make you take a check to this. You would certainly know at a glance that the patch attached to the bag is a religious symbol of Gazra.
Oh.
Anybody else trained in religion would also know that.
Okay.
The mark of the Stormlord.
Does not seem like he knew that. Well, now you do. Glad I told you.
And
So that's interesting.
What exactly is the symbol on it?
It's embroidered. It's kind of stitched into the thing. It's on the outside of the pack.
On the bag that everything was in.
Yes, on the bag itself. It has it's literally like a Boy Scout patch. That's like embroidered onto the outside of it of a Gazran Holy symbol.
Oh, he earned his patches. I'm so proud of him.
The end is convinced snakes to murder somebody. Bad Boy Scout badge. Merit
an
badge.
Eagle
That's
Scout.
what they're called.
Selwyn, this is mark of the Stormlord.
And that means
Could be anything for me.
look, right? Plenty of assholes follow the same religion. I'm sure there's plenty who follow mine that I would absolutely love. We're not made who we are by the god we follow.
No, you don't understand.
Wait,
Okay.
aren't all druids? Don't they follow the same religion or no?
Not all.
And not all, but it's very common. A
It's
lot of
very
druids
common.
do.
I am not common, Selwyn.
I didn't say you were common.
It's a sign.
It's a sign.
Well, it's up to us to figure out a sign of what, isn't it? All the more reason to get the bottom of this.
Question.
Go on.
Arabis, what is Elegem? You said it's from a different Elegem. What is this? Because you said religion and he doesn't.
I was like, what? I didn't know what you were going for either. I was
What
like,
is Elegem? What is it?
It's a different religion.
Yes, Elegem.
Many people believe in different things, but most are wrong because the Storm Lord is all.
Yes,
Wow.
Strong Lord. I agree. Yes, I am the Strong Lord.
Storm Lord.
Yes, very good.
Yes.
so,
What?
party. What are we doing?
I feel like we should go back and
I'm
secure
going
the rest of
back.
the grounds. If we don't think this will lead anywhere. We've dallied enough with talismans, right?
So you'll pick your way back cautiously past the pointy poison trap here, and just back up into the campgrounds. As you get closer to the campfire here, you can hear this music is really surprisingly good. You can hear pipes, you can hear fiddles, you can hear the sounds of horns and drums and in tandem, all rolling across the circus grounds here. And as you get into range to see everyone there, you can actually see everyone's doing much better. And in fact, seem to have joined together in a group dance. Everyone has kind of joined hands in two rings, the inner ring going one way and the outer ring going the other, dancing around this fire. Very energetically. But as you get closer, you can see something is almost certainly wrong. The excitement of their dancing and the energetic prancing does not at all match the exhaustion spread across their faces. And as the professor, who's quite old, comes by and just barely seems to be able to turn his head in beat with the music towards you, seeing you approaching, his eyes go wide. Help us!
What
I'm
happened?
gonna need some initiative.
Oh no! What is going on?
What?
What is happening now? Can't go anywhere.
Oof, natural one. Oof.
Natural
Good job,
20.
that-
Oh,
nice.
God.
You are much more
Natural
prepared
one.
for
I was
Yeah,
not
but
prepared.
I'm always ready when there's a dance going.
me and
I
Arvis.
wanted
are
to
like,
dance.
what the heck?
All right, so we'll get some organization here, and then I'll just go ahead and I guess use the professor's token for just everyone who's dying of exhaustion at the moment. You can be at the bottom. So, Selwyn, you can very clearly and immediately see something is horrifically wrong. Holy crap, I had the wrong session number. I forgot to change the session number. This isn't session 1, I lied to you. This is session 2. I fixed. Thank you. Had nobody say that until just now. Anyway.
I did mention it, but you didn't notice.
Oh, I didn't hear you say it. I would say it in chat.
Alright.
I can't
Yeah.
keep a super. I guess I can't. Probably people
you
did say it.
gotta
I don't.
focus.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
You can clearly see something is wrong.
What would a check be to figure out what? Sorry.
Roll me. I will give you either nature or arcana.
Well, I'm trading one of those, so
Nature it is.
Arcana it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm garbage.
17.
With a 17, you can tell, looking at the difference between them all dancing along with this together in time and the exhaustion in their faces and the slight movements as they come by trying to look towards you, pleading in their eyes. They're clearly under the effect of some kind of compulsion that is forcing them all to dance. And the source of it seems to be at the center.
All right. I'll relay that to the party, and I'll move a bit closer to the center. facing the compulsion.
So
Most likely.
as you move in, make me a will save.
Yes, sir. I am but a young gnome fool. A 25.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be in that one. Oh, I was so excited.
I just rolled
Uh,
25.
as you get close, you can you feel this same compulsion overcome you as you get close to this dance, and it takes all of your mental fortitude to resist joining in. But as you get to the edge of this here, this is pretty tight. Everyone's pretty close together. It's actually going to be kind of difficult to get into the center of this ring.
All right.
So-
do I know what's compulsing me?
No, you can't see into the middle. You can't immediately see anything. It just looks like they're dancing on the campfire. You don't see like a
Right.
monster standing in the center or anything.
Can I grab some pieces of wool or anything on the ground and stuff it in my ears?
That's a good idea. Yeah, as your last action, you just reach down for something on the ground, something like even grass,
Yeah.
or just
Yeah.
bits of cloth to just cram in your ears to try to help you resist this.
Yes.
Right, Zerg.
I don't see problem. I'm gonna run up next to Selwyn.
Make me a will save.
Oh no. Oh no.
He wants to dance anyway.
He wants to dance. He wants to dance. So, that's one off a critical failure. So, as this urge racks through your mind, you are overwhelmed. And in order to resist it, it takes 100% of your focus. You're going to take a -10 penalty to your speed, and you're flat-footed because 100% of your focus is forcing yourself not to dance. Otherwise, you're dancing.
And if I want to dance,
You can dance.
It's his life dream.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
No, don't leave me behind.
what save would require me to not want to dance?
It was that will save was to not be forced to dance. If you
Okay.
want to dance, you can absolutely dance.
I don't see problem.
Make me a performance check, Mono.
He succeeded with a 9?
He failed, but he didn't critically fail.
Where
He's flat-footed and his speed is 10. It's on your skills somewhere. Well, they're alphabetical, so it's approximately in the P's.
Oh, there it is. Yes. It's 10.
So with a 10, you dance along outside the crowd here, having a great time, but as you're not part of this like magical compulsion of the circle, you actually can't get in. Like they don't make a break for you. Like because they're being compelled, so they don't let you into the dancing ring. So you're just dancing outside. You're on your own.
Get down.
This is fantastic.
Do you want to? I mean, do you want to try to get in? Yeah, you got another action. You can try to get in either with a perform check to try to like figure out how you can fit yourself into this dance, or an athletics check to force your way in.
I want to be
Move,
the
I
Zerg
dance.
wants to be the- Zerg is not just the strongest; he's the best. I'm gonna possibly use an athletics check to force myself to the center of the dance circle, so I can be the one everyone's looking at. Is that possible?
Deal, absolutely. Well, you can force your way into the circle. We'll see if you get all the way
Oh,
through.
hell
Oh, get it.
That is not quite a critical success. So you pull one of the dwarven throwers out of your way. You pull Tulip out of your way. And you force yourself deep in with this ring. And as you get closer to the center, you can see the second concentric circle here before you, and you can actually see the source of the problem now. Flitting around above the fire are two tiny fairies. They're the source of this music, and they are dancing around, playing and conducting with this, looking like they're having a great time. They don't look to you at all like they're malicious. They're just
Having fun.
just dancing. They're just having fun.
They look pretty malicious to me.
I love them.
Ara,
So, I don't Do I know that the source is coming from the center? Or is that not knowledge I have?
Well, I mean, they're all dancing, and
I know they're all
professionals should help
dancing.
us. Like, yeah, without making your own
can't-
kind of a check, you just see what's happening in front of you.
Did I not identify it was coming somewhere in the middle?
Did you call that out?
I did.
Oh, that was my
I
mistake.
believe,
Then yes, someone would
I
have told
believe
you.
I said I called it out.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea how I'm gonna get in the middle of all that. So, I follow suit with Zerg.
So you want to try to perform?
Yeah.
Performance check, boy!
Good news is, I think
This is my favorite encounter.
I'm not trained. I was going to be trained in performance, but I chose not to.
Doesn't matter if you just roll a natural 20, forehead. So you get up here and just kind of bopping along with it. You're not trained. You have no idea what you're doing. This is the definition of an idiot savant. You perfectly sidle in with everyone. First into the front ring, or in the outer ring, and then into the front ring. And you are now up in the inner ring around the outside of the pile.
Will save?
Oh yeah, you need a will save. You're dancing
Will save?
regardless, but I do need a will save.
Is it an emotion effect or is it not? I get a plus
It
one.
is.
against
It is an
emotion
emotion
effects.
effect. Yes.
Cool. I get a +1 to it then. Or 12.
Still gonna be a failure, but just as Zerg did, you try to focus really hard, so you're flat-footed, and you also have a -10 movements to your speed once you get in here. But you're not forced to dance. You want, like Zerg, you want to dance, but you feel this mental compulsion, and you're not sure what it is overwhelming you. And as you get into the middle here, and you see these two little fairies dancing around the center, the first of them flits over to you, holding a violin, a small violin that appears to be playing itself with his free hand as he comes over and points out to you, Aura! Aura from the Circus! We were great fans of your performance. Didn't go seemed as all was planned, but wonderful nonetheless. So glad you could join us! Fantastic! And he turns back and points the other one behind him. Marina! It's Aura! And Marina kind of floats over as she is actually playing a pipe here and waves with one hand freely to Aura before they go back to conducting their thing. You have fans.
Yay! The worst performer has fans.
You also
I'm
have one
sorry,
action
guys.
left.
Can I try diplomacy to talk to them to stop them from playing?
Yes. What do you want to say? You can try to request they stop playing.
Let me roll that real fast, because I might just stutter over my own words here.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Roll first. Smart.
Yep. I rolled a 19.
Okay.
And I'm gonna plead with them. If you give everyone a second just to rest and relax, we'll put on a special show just for you.
And the first one comes back around again with his floating violin. He looks, oh, intriguing, but I couldn't be so greedy. Everyone's having such a great time. Arabis.
Am I hearing this, or am I too far away?
You could probably hear this exchange.
I'm gonna move twice to get to right behind Sig Jones here. Am I out of the range of the thing still?
You're out of the ring, but you're in make a will save.
Okay.
If you get near it, it's will save in time.
My will. Natural 20.
Holy moly.
Wow. You are completely immune. You feel nothing.
I am.
You don't understand the concept of joy.
And with my third action, I would.
That's only one action to walk over here. The will save is not an action.
No,
That's
I had
just a
to
save you
double
make.
move to get there because it was like 35.
Okay, fair enough.
Gonna piggyback onto the Aura thing. I insist they need a break. Cease this music.
Calling over the dancing lines of people in front of you, you can make out like a bit of aura in their conversation. but you don't feel like your voice is really going to get through to these little fey creatures in the center over the crackling fire. You need to get closer.
Okay.
You still, that's not going to make you use like you start to talk and realize it's pointless. Like, it's not an action.
Then I will start to do my primal dance as I bob and weave through the crowd to get closer.
Hey, make me a performance check.
Oh, I don't know if I can.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy, that's
Your
a 5.
dance is pretty incompatible, and you.
Yeah, mine's
There's
kinda
no way this
different.
is gonna. Yeah, it's kind of
savage.
slow too. It's not really gonna like get you into this, and you kind of try to push away and just get bumped back by the force of this dance, lizard man.
Okay, dancing. This is ridiculous. I can't see what's going on at all, so I'm gonna get, and I can't really understand. Like, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, what the heck is going on here? I just have no concept. So I'm going to go up here and climb on top of this wagon.
Okay, make me a climb check.
Okay.
I can climb up. We're just defacing Mordane's wagons today.
Yeah, 26.
Damn.
Alrighty, so
Very
you
good timing.
you climb up on some. I don't know if that locks your vision in the penalty box
well,
there.
it does. I am in a tiny little box, but
There you go.
no, there we go.
Yeah, because I have the dynamic lighting drawn around it. But you reach up and with your razor claws, you just stab into the fresco of Mordane and her tank, doing her act, the same art that's on her posters, largely with her hands shackled, her head folded. You just dig into this and climb up on top of her wagon.
Yes, quite. I mean, I could just walk up without hands too, but you know that.
That's still claws. That's footy claws doing the same thing.
Footy claws, exactly. And then I guess I will make. I guess I went into the area, so I will make a will save.
Yep, will save me.
10.
10, you are also flat-footed and have a -10 speed.
Okay, and then I will draw out my Atlas, kind of trying to see what's going on through here.
Zerg and Aura is dancing. Aramis and Seller are trying to get in. Lizard Man climbs up on the wagon and pulls out his fucking club like, I'm over this shit. But from this new vantage point, you can totally see what the problem is. These two Fae flitting about the center. And you can see them talking with Aramis, but you can't really make out their tiny voices over the dancing and the fire. As everyone dances, I mean, you can see this draining exhaustion growing in them, but they've been doing this for who knows how long at this point.
At least 20 minutes.
In the distance, Cubby looks on, kind of just swaying his head a little bit, but not daring to get any closer, understanding the threat looming beyond. Selwyn.
Alright. Do I need to make another will save?
No.
Okay. Can I acrobatics to get through this crowd?
Yeah, absolutely, you can try to acrobatics to just kind of weave through this.
Yep, I would like to do so. I rolled a 22.
The 22
And
could certainly get into the outer ring.
I like to imagine it's just me going lower and like moving between the legs.
Yeah, you guys are starting like a child underneath everybody here. So you need to do another one to get into the center, but that has gotten you in.
Right, I would like to roll another then. And I rolled a 16.
That'll do it.
Right, sweet.
This gets you into the center, and while you're performing, or while you weave your way in, you're just kind of under everybody. Once again, this Fae turns and almost double takes as soon as you come in. Oh, by the gods above, by the first world, Selwyn herself, the juggling dynamo, the star of the opener. Can you, and he looks around, I need to find something to autograph. My name's Zuri Starflower. Oh, what a magnificent moment.
I'll hold you right there. I'll autograph as many things as you like, do all the performances you want. Just calm the music for a second. Do this for me, please, a favor.
Diplomacy?
Yes.
Please stop.
Please stop.
22.
And with a 22, he would look to you and he would look over to Marina. And he'd look back at you and just, oh.
A special performance just for the two of you.
Fine. And they stop, and the music stops, and half of your circus workers here just fall to the ground, exhausted, just dropping in place, while others stagger over to lean against the wagons, and some get a couple feet away before dropping to their knees. Only a few of the sturdiest roustabouts just kind of, and Zuri.
Zerg keeps dancing around.
Thank you very much, gentle creature.
Zuri
Well, what
looks
may I
up
call
at
you?
He looks up and just looks down. No, it's fine. You've work to do. I understand. We'll be on our way.
No, please stay. I promised. Who is your autograph to? And what
The other one.
do?
Oh, the flute in one hand puts a hand up. Marina tree song.
And I'll fetch out a parchment from my
And
sleeve.
she just holds out her flute.
Oh.
Please. Your performance was absolutely fantastic. Tell me, all of the circus is here then? We've seen most of the performance, and she points over to Bartholomew, who is just sprawled out on the ground on his back, heaving.
Yeah.
And as she looks around, is the lizard man here? He was my favorite.
As a matter of fact,
Well,
I'll
she's
point him out.
like down. She's very tiny. These things aren't small. These are like 9 inches. Like they're incredibly small, and they're flitting down right around the fire, like at waist level. She actually can't really see up to you while she's up talking to Selwyn.
You'll have to point me out.
I'll lift her up and then point him out.
I mean, she flies, but
I'll
I'll raise her.
gesture upwards, I guess. Yeah.
And she flits up to the top of this and looks up. Oh! And forgetting her flute with you, she zooms up onto the top of the wagon here with Lizard Man flitting and looking around him. And he's real, it's not a costume!
Well, of course I'm real.
You sit with your axe in your hand still.
I'm like, I put it over my chest again. Zeg, stop dancing.
He's still going.
Serg does not stop dancing. So everybody else here certainly has by now.
I will dance with Cirque.
Like, God.
And here, let me put their names up for you for ease
Thank
here.
you.
Marina! And I believe it was Zuri. And as Marina kind of flits around Lizard Man, excited, just sort of like literally just flitting around you, looking at you from different angles, just gushing with excitement.
One eye
both
would
about...
be able to, when she's on this side, one eye would be able to track her, and she's on this side, the other eye would be able to track her, but I wouldn't move at all.
And she is gushing both about you physically as a person and also about your performance from the circus, while Zuri just kind of hangs out around Selwyn, looking back and forth between you. And now that everyone has fallen down, seeing Zerg as well. And he raises a hand, the one hand with the violin, the other free hand, he raises up. Zerg! Zerg, the strongest man alive! I can't do the accent, but it was wonderful!
Ah, yes, I'm a big fan of your work too, huh?
Oh, he goes to start to reply and like freezes and like starstruck. Like his eyes are just wide and he... Really? Do you really mean it?
Yes, that last song you were playing, can you play it again? I want to hear it again.
So, as the two of you that got into the actual center would notice that most of the music was actually coming from their legs. While they have a humanoid upper body, their lower half is like a cricket. And their back legs were where most of the actual sound was coming through, just with some support from the pipes and the violin that he had. But that music, as you ask, Zuri will immediately move to put his legs together.
And I'll grab the leg. Just reach out.
Just grab his leg!
Yep.
He kind of loses his balance for a second there flying, because again, these things are like 9 inches up. They're very small.
I'll do like a tiny bow. I'm very sorry, little one, but our crew is very tired after that marvelous performance. I assure you can do this with Cirque. Just and I'll gesture into. You could do it inside the tent itself, where we throw our performances.
More
you're
during the
loud.
love of performance.
Is it open to the? I didn't think the public was allowed.
They're not
Backstage
normally.
performance is over.
But for a fan such as you, and since Cirque's willing,
And he turns and
don't see
cups
that.
the hand to his mouth, Marina! Which is still just the tiniest little sound because he's so little. And she just zooms over from where she was with Lizard Man, head cocked as they just kind of flit about each other. Selwyn says we're allowed inside the tent. We can perform a show for them. They loved our music. And she just puts her hands together next to her face. Oh! I cannot imagine more blessed day!
all right, Cirque, show them on in. The floor is yours.
Right this way. Let me show you where I am. Come on, let's go. We got
And,
a little bit.
As you start to move, you hear a ferocious series of noises. It sounds like a tumultuous amount of squeaking and scratching. As from the south, an enormous swarm of rats spills out of the Featherfall 5's wagon, rushing forwards towards the campfire, spreading out in an area much larger than this, flitting around your feet, fanning in a 40-foot area as they just writhe and dart throughout the grass and across the ground. And behind them comes a woman, a small halfling, standing largely bare with simple leather chest piece and an equally simple, almost ragged cape dangling behind her, with what appears to be a giant rat's head perched atop her like a crown. And she walks forward, wielding a gnarled staff, hanging with all sorts of talismans and fetishes dangling about it, as she is followed by an absolutely enormous rat, nearly 3 feet tall, maybe 5 feet across, a hulking, massive, disgusting creature.
That rat's bigger than me.
And as you hear all of the rustling of the leaves and everything from the rat starting every which way around, she raises her free hand towards the group of you and laughs. Isn't this a pretty sight? As she steps forward with the staff. I had hoped to murder more of you while the town was watching. That would have frightened them away from here for good. But a bigger slaughter might even be better. The foolish farmers and poisoners of Aberton will discover your rat-chewed corpses. No one will know how it happened, but everyone will whisper that nature is taking its revenge. And it is through me! I'll wager most of the town will be gone in a week. The rest will fall easily. Then perhaps the land can finally heal from this cancer known as Aberton! As she slowly walks towards the group, but doesn't immediately make any kind of aggressive action. She seems pretty set on this bad guy speech right now as she approaches and just cackling in glee.
I'll motion for the other party members to like move up a bit in front of the rest of the very, very exhausted.
Most of your group is
circus folk.
exhausted. Yeah, they're exhausted, laying on the ground. And as the party moves forward, Lizard Man, you staying up on your wagon here?
Well, I was kind of gonna see if I kind of have to wait to see where the rat swarm goes, I guess. So.
It's spread out everywhere right now. It's not actually like taking up any place. It's just swarming throughout the grass.
And I'll raise my hand. 2 questions. 1, who are you? And 2, are you behind
Who am
everything that's
I?
happened tonight?
You!
Yes.
The circus. I should thank you. You put on such a wonderful show. Such a set for nature's revenge. I am Ariad, one in tune with nature, one who has seen how civilization has scarred and wounded this land, caused the waters to recede, the plants to die, the birds themselves to flee for less solid pastures. This will be the end of it.
One more question. And I'll pull out the pack. Is this
Raise
yours?
his hand.
Like raises his hand briefly. Is this your bag?
Is this your bag? Is this yours?
And she looks at it and just waves dismissively. So you think you've solved all of this, have you? You found my camp, and now you understand? Well, if you think you can stop the growth of nature and the wrath of Gazra, I welcome you to try! And waves forward with her staff as all of the rats, as if commanded, turn rushing towards you. And this massive one takes his place, hulking in front of her.
Right.
And the next week, we will battle Ariad. But for now, everybody, I think that is a pretty solid session we have had.
Goddamn.
Nobody died yet. There is still definitely this. But that means Zerg's strongest man alive. Selwyn is
Anti-druid.
smart. You have, your first antagonist here, Aravis, the anti-druid. I mean,
Wow.
she seems pretty druid. I don't know if there's a whole lot of anti there, really.
Very extreme
He's just
druid.
pissed.
Yeah, she's just an extremist. Very much an extremist, the druid. But you have not only your own lives at stake here, but the lives of the entire Circus of Wayward Wonders, exhausted on the ground, near unable to even pull themselves away from this. If she defeats you, this is going to be an absolute massacre. So don't fuck it up. Our
Well, there's
first
one thing I'm good at.
true challenge awaits next week when we return. And I would say you're all very close to second level at this point. And perhaps an encounter with this extreme druid and her rats would be enough to put you over the edge there. So you may want to put some thoughts, some preparations into what you want to do with your second level, because it will come very quickly. And then we immediately get out of the level 1 Bukkake zone and get into the place where you get choices. And I mean, you get so many choices and options at level 1 in 2nd edition. It's actually wild how much character building you get to do immediately. But even more going into level 2. So, thank you, everybody, hanging out, watching our shenanigans. You, these meat-grabbing bastards, for some reason, all so dedicated to stealing Zerg's pants meat. Which is still there, by the way.
Look, I didn't do it yet.
Unsuccessful.
Yeah, it hasn't.
Meat that mattered.
It hasn't gone anywhere. Selwyn got she's a tiny little gnome hand's got at least a handful, I would imagine. Not the meat she was aiming for, but
I was too
Having
handing.
very confusing feelings about Selwyn now.
Ah, yes.
possibly the start of a budding relationship. But we could
They
leave
even
that
danced
for.
together and everything.
They did. They were right with each other. I mean, Selwyn didn't really dance. He just kind of tried to scoot by, seemingly irritated. But
No, I danced with him after because he was the only one
after.
dancing.
oh yeah,
was
true.
nice. It was
Yeah,
fun.
he did a little bit after. That's true. And perhaps, who knows? Who knows where this magical relationship could go? But that's it for us today. I do not believe I had any pressing end of stream issues to tend to here. So party next week. We face down with Ariad, the druid almost certainly responsible for the death of your ringmaster and everything else that has happened in chat. We will see you then. Good night, everybody. Oh, I have an outro scene now. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Ooh.